Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special part 2 edition of Encrypted Connections 1,000 subscribers celebration / thank you show. As you see, here with me right now is our very, very good, it's not even friend, this is family. You know who he is. This is Bigfoot Lake. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Hanging in there, brother. It's good to see you. It's good to see everybody in chat.
Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. I know you're not feeling well. No, you haven't been feeling well, so I really, really, truly appreciate you hopping on here just for a little while with me tonight. It means a lot, brother.
Yeah, no problem. It's been about that virus that's going around from a certain country. We seem to hit our house, so I've had it for about a week, and it's no fun. But we're tough. We get past it.
Well, we're going to send out some prayers, some love, and some light to you guys tonight. Everybody in the chat, please do that for me. Hate to see anybody sick or not feeling well. It sucks, man. I know the women love to joke about how men are all big babies when we get sick, and I think there's some truth to that. But there's science behind this too. Okay. It's scientifically proven that when men get sick and women get sick, we get sick in different ways. Women's bodies are just they handle these things better than us for whatever reason. This is science. You can look this up. Men, on the other hand, when we get sick, we feel it a lot more usually. So a cold to us, we end up whining on the couch. I don't feel good. I don't feel good.
I don't know, man. Moms are tough. They're tough.
They're tough. They're tough.
You know what? We get sick. We can usually just call off work, but moms, they still got to take care of their kids, and it's like they never get to just stop. So it's like in them, they're just tough.
It's built into them, right? It's built into them. It's something innate that God instills in them from the moment that they become mothers, because He knows they have to be able to, I'm sure they mothers of the world are sitting there going, yeah, you SOBs, I wish He would have built it into you too. Oh, hold on. He's back. We got our other friend here. Ladies and gentlemen, Donnie Miller. How are you, Donnie? Maybe, can you hear us?
He looks great.
Volume.
No, we can hear you.
He can't hear us. Should we just listen?
I'm not hearing you.
Can't hear me? Uh-oh. He can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, I can't hear you guys.
Can't hear us.
Yeah, I'm not getting no audio.
Jeez, it's almost like it's my wife.
I believe my speaker's on. Let me check the settings.
Almost like it's my wife. Donnie's having some technical difficulties.
Microphone's on. Everything's on.
Do you have you can't hear me? I don't know why I'm asking questions.
It's got internal speakers.
You don't have these? You don't have headphones? No?
I can't hear.
Do you? Do you have one of these? Uh-oh. It's going to be one of those nights, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what? I think I'm jinxing it because you and Donnie have had some great shows, and it's like,
oh, stop it!
Everything went great, and then I pop up here, and it's like I shut it down.
Stop it. Well, listen, let's do this then. Since you're here, and I know you don't want to be here for too long, you got to get back to resting.
Right.
So tonight, this is part 2 of this show, right? That we're doing for the 1,000 subscriber thing, and I promised everybody that when we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, someone would win a 1-of-1 piece of merch.
Audio.
Okay.
Shoot.
So I'm gonna put Donnie in the background real quick. You know what? I'll just mute his mic. And so this is part 2. So tonight, someone's gonna win that merch. Along with that merch, Bigfoot Lake is donating a book. You want to tell us about the book?
I do. This book is called A Bear Road: The True Story, and you can see a guy shining his flashlight over his car hood at a Bigfoot, and it's written by Brian and Sue Goslin. This book means a lot to me because we know Brian personally. We've met him many times, and that story of A Bear Road, the A Bear Road encounters in 1976 with multiple law enforcement officers. These are sorry. These are like world famous accounts. This is Whitehall is actually it's a Bigfoot hotspot. You know, I don't know that it's a hotspot. It's just world famous for it. It's one of the things. And this is not too far from us. We go to Whitehall a lot, and this story, A Bear Road: The True Story, it just means a lot to me and my wife, both. So it's not a huge book, but it's a great read. It tells you what actually happened on that night out on that 2-lane road in Whitehall, New York. That it went from this 2-lane winding country road one day to the next day. It was a media circus. Total circus. And what's happened throughout the years with the story is Hollywood gets their fingers into it and they try to glam it up and make it sound a little bit better. Well, Brian wrote this book for that purpose. It's A Bear Road: The True Story. This is his encounter, his words. He refused to like give in to the media and change his story. He told it the way it is. Yeah.
Where was that at?
It's upstate New York.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's Whitehall, New York.
It's a great story. I mean, if you haven't heard it yet, it's amazing stuff. And like Bigfoot saying, Brian Gosling is he kept his integrity throughout. Didn't matter what the news companies were offering, and trying to get other people to change their stories, which many of them did. I think almost all of them did, and Brian just refused to. So you get the truth in this book, and the truth is, I don't know why you need to change it. The truth is crazy enough.
The truth is the truth, and there's nothing you can do to it.
Yeah.
Once you alter it, it's no longer truth.
Right.
And that's so many are doing it, and I understand. I know why they're doing it now. I had a conversation with I've had a couple of TV shows reach out to me, and I don't remember. I think it was Terror of the Woods. I think that was the.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the one. I had to do a video interview, like us sitting here now, with them, with three. I think it was 3 of them total, 3 different TV shows, and I can't be for certain which one. It seems like it was Terror of the Woods, but I explained to him what happened and the encounter, and he was sort of urging me to alter some of it.
Of course.
That this thing. So he laid hands on you. I said, no, he never touched me. He spit on me. As he was growling and snarling, he spit all over me, but he never physically touched me. And he kept urging it. Oh, yeah, he touched you, but you were able to get away. I said, no, that's not what happened. And I remember it just like I remember putting gas in the car today. It's part of my everyday memory, and I wish I could forget it. But the other two I spoke to, they just wanted to hear the story. But like my first encounter, the one that happened on Panama City Beach, the girl I was dating at the time, she's dead now. But there were 4 of us in the car. One of them, I have no idea where she's at now. She's married and moved on. Eddie's in jail. And then Celeste, who at that time we were teenagers and we eventually got married, but she's passed away. And because I don't have immediate access to one of the other witnesses, they weren't interested in the story. I said, all right, that's fine. I didn't reach out to any of them. They contacted me, and I don't know how they found me. One of them got my number.
Yeah, they have their ways, man. They have their ways. That's what TV is, and they get a hold of this person who gets a hold of that person. If you're on YouTube, you're using your name, they're going to get a hold of you. I mean, Long Island Bigfoot's been on a couple of them, and
yeah, I've never put my phone number out. I did in the beginning. I didn't know the repercussions of putting your number on your chat, and that was a lesson learned. And I had to get my number changed. But since I had it changed, it's the number I have now is the one they contacted me on.
And yeah, it's possible. I think I told you that somebody from my subscribers got my phone number, and the only way to do that is you have to pay one of these websites to do it, to get it.
Really?
That's what they did, and then they didn't stop harassing me.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Yeah, I've had some weird calls, but some of the calls that I had, I don't know how they got my number. I run an ad on Craigslist here locally. If you had a Sasquatch encounter or Bigfoot, and I put all the different names, across it. And I had several people reach out to me, and I had an elderly gentleman from Canada who lives here now. And I talked to him probably 3 times, and he wanted to share his story, but he is terrified of the consequences, of the repercussions of getting out there. And I told him, it happens. The society today is easily offended, and they don't want to hear the truth. If it has to do with our true history or our true nature of things that are happening today, they don't want to hear it.
Right.
They want the sugar cookies of what's going on. And, life's good. And at times it is, all sugar and marshmallows, but, it's rare. But those are the times you're sitting at the dinner table with your family. You don't have things, knocking on your window, trying to get into your car. You don't have all that happening during the good times. And they refuse it, the truth. And I don't get it. It bothers me, but it's just the time we're in.
Well, I think this is just the way it is. But real quick.
Yes.
Bigfoot, you okay? You want to take off, buddy?
Yeah, I did want to do one fun thing just for a minute.
Sure, go ahead.
This is just to see who's been paying attention to some of your shows.
Oh,
all right.
There was something that was featured on one of your shows a while back, and it was something that we deemed that was going to be a real problem in life. I want to ask the chat, does anybody remember what was going to be a real problem in life? Anybody remember that?
Put your answers up now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who was really paying attention. It really from everything that you experienced, as a child, it should have been.
There, we got it right there.
We got it. Bingo. Right away.
Hope
got it. You got it. She has her stick. Fresh got it. Carson got it.
Yeah, a bunch of people remember. Okay.
And good, yeah, because Bigfoot and Lake made a video, and I was like, oh gosh, I have to make one. It just inspired me. I had to. It was the very first video that I ever edited together myself. That video, and then that spawned the Sasquatch foreskins jerky commercial.
Yeah, we had a discussion about some of the things that we feared as children, and it's like I remember as when I was a kid, everything that you would watch, and everything from Scooby-Doo to Flash Gordon to everything you would watch, somebody was sinking in quicksand, and that was like
Everybody.
everybody. It was like a dire problem, and that was our joke. Because as a child, I was growing up thinking quicksand. This is going to be a real problem in life.
Yeah.
So,
He asked me, he says, what were your fears as a kid? So I don't know that he's trying to go there, and I get all deep and philosophical. I'm like, I was a messed up kid, man. I had all these kind of problems, and oh my God. And then he was like, whoa, slow down, killer. And then he throws that out there, and I just remember dying laughing. I couldn't believe it. And it became a thing for weeks. People would say, like, over and over about, the quicksand. It's such I thought that was going to be a much bigger problem in life.
That's funny. I didn't catch that one.
I'll send you the videos because I still have the one that Josh and Lake made, and then I made one. It's like a parody commercial video. They're pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Awesome. That'd be cool.
Yeah, you gotta have fun.
That's right.
At some point tonight, Kyle's going to do a random something, however he figures it out. That's up to him. And I'll get this book sent out to somebody. So
what's going to happen is 3 people are going to win tonight. 3 people are going to win. One person's going to win the merch, and then 2 other people are going to win books. One of them is this book, and another one is Christopher Noel's book.
Very cool.
So 3 people are going to win tonight. Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to do it while we're live, or if I'll have to do it afterwards. I'm actually trying to figure some of that out on my phone right now as we're going, because I just couldn't figure it out earlier. But we'll get it worked out. Don't worry about it. There'll be 3 winners. Kyle, Josh, and Donnie. You all win. I'm just kidding.
I'm seeing a lot of spam talk in your chat, and I just want to make this clear. Spam is like a couple encounters away from being classified as a cryptid, and I'm not even joking. All right,
Agreed.
I'm gonna hop off here, brother.
Donnie,
it's nice hanging with you for a minute. Nice to talk to you.
You as well. It's good to see you. Take care of yourself. If there's something I can do at my end to help you out and help you get over this mess, reach out to me. Kyle's got all my information.
I appreciate that. And brother, congratulations on 1,000. You deserve it, and you're just getting started. All right.
Thank you, man. Love you, buddy.
All right. Good seeing you guys in chat, and hope you all have a great night.
All right, man. Rest up. Let me know if I can do anything for you.
All right. We'll see you guys.
All right.
We'll see.
Have a good night. Oh, I just love that guy. I love him. He's such a good egg. Him and his wife are such great people. Man, when I got introduced to him, the very night that I got introduced to him, it was online. And I said immediately, I go, oh, I know I'm going to be good friends with this guy. I knew it instantly because I forgot he made a joke, and I knew right away. I said, man, our sense of humor is the same. This is going to be fun. And it sure has been. They're just wonderful people. They really are. They're wonderful people.
Yeah, he seems like it.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever seen him.
Really?
Yep, I haven't. I've been away from YouTube. I threw up a couple little short videos and stuff that I got so much footage on my phone, and having to get this stuff get it off the camera, and I put together some stuff and threw it out. And I just haven't watched nothing.
It's tough.
Nonstop.
It's tough, man. It's hard, when you got other stuff going on. You got to tend to your family. You got to tend to the goats. You got, whatever extra stuff. Even if you just got a job, and then you come home and you got to, spend time with the family, and then you got to cook dinner, and you got to take a shower. And then by that time, it's like you get into an hour of YouTube maybe, and then then you're out, you're sleeping because you got to start it all over again nice and early the next day.
It's cool. If I'm on the tractor working, because I'll put my earbud in and I'll pull up. If anyone's live, I'll just pull that up and I'll listen to it while I'm doing, what I need to do. But the things that's been going on, like Kim had surgery a week and a half ago. Supposed to went and got staples removed from her back today, but she's not feeling good, and so that didn't happen. We're going to do it tomorrow. But yeah, I just should have had time. Been driving so much, and if listen to it while I'm driving, which I have before several times. But if it gets real interesting, instead of focusing ahead like this, I got my phone mounted over here, and then I'll start doing this while I'm driving. And so it's better just not listen to it when I'm on the road, because I got to look. They'll say something, draw my attention to it, and I don't want to get a ticket. I don't want to have an accident.
Totally
Sure.
understand. Actually, right here we go. That's fresh. Wants to know, and I think a lot of people want to know. I know we watch your
Yeah.
videos. How is Jeff?
All right. As of, I have not spoke to Jeff today. I spoke with him yesterday.
He messaged me this morning.
Yeah, he was going into surgery.
Yep.
Today, and I haven't heard from him since the surgery. Monday, I believe it was Monday. On a day off, he went in, and they did the heart thing, where they put a heart catheter.
Yeah.
Which is I think it's a stent.
Mm-hmm.
And while they were putting it in, they found he's got a secondary or a second blockage, but it wasn't concerning enough to balloon it. And I don't know what that means, but or to put a stent in it. But the doctors said what they're going to do once he gets out of the hospital, then he'll do a follow-up. They're going to treat that with medication. They're pretty sure they can use medicine to get rid of that blockage.
Thin it out, yeah.
Yeah, and today he was going in. Originally, he was going to lose part of his big toe, half of his big toe, and the infection is in the bones of his foot. And so they don't know how far. He may lose a couple of toes. He may lose 3. And the surgeon basically told him, we don't know. We're not going to know until we get you open, where we can physically see what's going on and how far it's spread. Jeff wanted them, wherever it's at, get rid of it. He doesn't want to come back and have to do a second and third surgery to get it all. He wants it done one time. Then when he leaves the hospital, all he's got to focus on is that recovery, and then get back on his feet and start doing what he does best. But yesterday, he was in really good spirits. He sounded like Jeff.
Yeah, because he didn't the last week or the week before, whenever it was when this all started.
He couldn't breathe. He was having a really hard time breathing. But he was, we was talking about firearms, and Jeff, he's probably got one of every firearm made. And telling me about his plans for his dream build of a specific firearm. And we talked about what's going on at the property. He was all over the board. And yesterday afternoon, the last I spoke to him, we talked for probably an hour, and then the doctor came in to talk to him, and he had to get off the phone with me. But he's doing good so far. As soon as I hear back from him on the foot surgery, what went on with that, and I will absolutely be posting something. I'll be putting something up to let everyone know how he's doing. And he is extremely appreciative to everyone who has prayed on his behalf. When he was explaining to me just how appreciative he was, he got really emotional over it. And he's just, the gratefulness in his voice is to the core.
Yeah.
A man of many truths. And he was overwhelmed with how much love and that pouring of support that showed up when he needed it the most. And he couldn't believe that many people cared about him. And he's in a good place. He's just got to get out of the physical building that he's in right now.
Yeah.
That'll be soon.
He'll be okay, man. He'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a lot of people behind him praying and sending love and light and all that good stuff. And he's I was saying it this morning. He's just one of those people that when you meet him and you talk to him, when you get off, when you're done with that first conversation with him, that your life is better off having met this man. That's how you feel. He's just a hell of a human being, full of love and support and kindness and encouragement and all those things.
He
He's a
is.
tough SOB too. Don't get me wrong. He is a tough SOB.
He's definitely tough. And you know, most people, if they get an infection like what Jeff's dealing with now,
Yeah.
you know, a week of it, and most of us we give up. Time to go to the hospital. We got to get something done. The last time he was down at my house a year and a half ago, he had that infection in his foot. It's never went away.
Crazy.
And he's nonstop, you know, going in the woods, going on these hikes, doing security for these groups, and just, you know, I don't know how much pain he was in. Jeff's got a high pain tolerance.
He must.
But a man that physical size, he's a big guy. I don't know what his height is, 6'4", 6'5", somewhere around 275, I would guess. He's a mountain, big guy. And to be walking around with a serious infection in his foot for the better part of a year and a half, I don't know how. I don't know how he done it. I get a finger infected, a week of that, and I'm just at my wit's end.
Yeah, they don't feel good. You get them infections, they don't feel good, man.
Not at all. And he's dealt with a serious one, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, by the grace of God. And you know, he's just Jeff grew up. His father was a preacher, and so he grew up in the church from since he was an infant, and that's all he knows. And he rests everything on the shoulders of the Lord, and he pushes through. And it's evident, you know, what he's been through, what he survived, and now going through this. In another couple of weeks, he's going to be back in the woods again, and there's no stopping him.
No, he's just got that in him. People either have it or they don't. Jeff's got that thing where he just you can't hold him down long.
Yeah, that Energizer Bunny has not run into Jeff yet. That would be the end of his drum beating, especially if he's wearing hair, head to toe hair, and howling.
That's right. So real quick, guys, I didn't get to say hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, welcome. Thank you for being here. Special night for many reasons. I wanted to let everybody know, in case you haven't seen, the encrypted collections. Yeah, a little play on words there. The encrypted collections merch store is up and running.
Awesome.
So right now, there's two different designs. There's the White Rabbit, and then there's the encrypted connections design. It's not the same as the one behind here because this was a little bit too detailed to throw on a T-shirt or a mug or anything like that. But there's two designs up right now. You can put. I mean, there's T-shirts, there's baseball shirts, there's tank tops, there's hats, there's mugs, there's bags, there's anything you think of, you can order it with one of these designs. And if you order in the next week, I think in the next week or 2 weeks, it's 15% off your whole order. If it's one thing, two things, whatever, 15% off. And then the very next, then I'm going to do another one. I think 2 weeks, there'll be another promo. After that one's done, there'll be another promo. I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. I have to work all that out with the place that makes all the stuff. But I think there's some pretty cool stuff up there. And again, just so you know, the prices I don't set, not through this site. They set the prices. I think they're fair. They're not bad. It's good quality stuff. It's not crap stuff. But they set the prices. And that's just the way it goes with them. The thing is I can't house all this stuff here and then ship it all myself. It's just too much work. So what happens is with this site, it's made to order. So when you order it, they make it, right? I just provide them with my designs, and then they make it as you order it. I don't have to worry about shipping. I don't have to worry about keeping it at my house. I don't have to worry about shelling out $1,500 for 100 shirts, and then, you know, not making that money back, which is a big risk, right? For somebody like me, that's a big risk. But so there's cool stuff there, and it helps, helps the channel. Like I say all the time, all that stuff helps the channel, helps us grow, helps us do more, helps us put gas in the car and fix the things that go wrong with it, so we keep going out and hopefully travel to places that we can, videotape and collaborate with other people. I really want we talked about this briefly, me and you, Donnie. I really, really want to go to Alabama to visit Mark Green and then shoot to you in Florida, because you're only about 3 hours from there.
Yeah, it's just up the road, and
yeah,
yep, I'm open to that. Whenever you can get it set, yeah, I'm good. Got several places I can take you to. Just when it gets to the point, please bring snake boots.
okay.
They're bad down here.
Yeah, I imagine so.
The rattlesnakes ain't. I mean, we got a lot of them, but that's not the concern. I've been bit by rattlers twice, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
The last time I was bit was in 2011, and instead of the shots, they give you pills now. You do get a shot, but then you get 7 days, 1 pill a day for 7 days, the antitoxin, and they are $105 per pill, and insurance does not cover it. So
get the hell out of here.
You don't get bit. Moccasin does not have an anti-venom.
Yeah.
They don't have an anti-serum for them. They are nasty. They're dirty. They eat dead fish. They're horrible. You get bit by moccasin, and if your body is strong enough to fight it off, you got a good chance of surviving. But if it gets you in the bone, they got to amputate. So it's not worth it.
Not to mention the secondary infection that can come from a bite like that.
Yeah, it's bad. I've never been. The only poisonous snakes I've been bit by were the rattlesnakes, and it felt like the one on the foot felt like somebody heated a needle up red hot, and just stuck it in my foot, and it didn't cool down, and it burned for 3 days. But as the blood poison was going up my leg, it burned. I could, without looking on my leg, I could touch where the blood poison ended, up near my, pretty close to my crotch. I could touch the exact spot where the red streak, the end of it was. And from that point down, it burned like fire. It was horrible.
That ain't no good.
I got it. Well, according to the doctors, I shouldn't have reacted that bad, but I've got an allergy to it was a pygmy rattlesnake that got me on my foot. The one that got me in the thumb was an eastern diamondback, and I didn't go to the hospital till the next day. And the only reason I went, I was having a hard time breathing, and all the antibodies. I've got COPD and asthma. I was born with asthma and COPD from secondhand smoke from everybody I'd been with. But my antibodies, instead of fighting the COPD like they've always done, they had to go fight this poison, and there was nothing left to fight the COPD. And so that's when I found out that I had COPD. I didn't even know, and that's the only reason I went. If I could have breathed all right, I wouldn't even have went to the doctor. I didn't get a full dose of the poison, I don't believe, because the only thing I swole up, but it was my thumb swole like it was going to pop, and my hand, it was the swelling from that up from there was very mild. It burned, but not as bad as that little pygmy. That pygmy set me free. I spoke in tongues, and it wasn't good tongues when he got me. But I knew I messed up. I went to stomp him, and I was wearing flip-flop sandals, and I was walking my mama's weenie dog, and this snake was coiled up, and it wasn't that big, coiled up, the whole snake. And the dog's trying to bite him, and he's striking at the dog. So I pulled the dog back by the leash, and I went to step on him with my flip-flop sandals, and I was just going to smash him and grind him, to kill him. And as soon as I started coming down, I had my feet spread out so he wouldn't get my other leg. As soon as I'm coming down my foot, he takes off like toward the side of the road, and I step like that far behind his head. And my legs are spread, so I can't pull my foot back real fast. And I stepped on him, and his head come up and just pop on top of my foot. He got me 4 times. And
oh my gosh.
And I went ahead and just smeared him all over the asphalt. I was only dead. He couldn't have gotten no worse. So I just went ahead and killed him then. But
Oh my gosh.
I didn't tell my mom about it. The next day, I was in a bad way. My armpit had these big knots in it. My groin area had knots. My neck had these knots coming up on it, and I had the worst headache I've ever had in my life, and ended up sleeping about 16 or 17 hours straight.
Garrett, maybe you're lucky you lived.
Yeah, it would have killed me if I wouldn't have went. And most people get bit by the pygmies. You go and get antibiotics. Sometimes you need anti-serum, but it's such a small amount of poison. The treatment is small.
Yeah.
You get a few little pills and a shot, and you're done. But I had a reaction to it, and that little joker wore me out. So I avoid the pygmies at all costs. The big ones, I don't want to be around them, but that big one rattles. You'll hear it. 20 feet away, you'll hear him.
You'll hear it. They're loud as hell.
Yeah, and that little, a 12-inch, we call them great ground rattlers. It's the pygmy rattlers. They'll have that tail going 1,000 miles a second, and you'll never hear it.
Right.
Unless you pick him up with something, get him by your ear. You see the rattle is,
it's too small.
Yeah, it's like a pencil lead. So they're everywhere.
And a lot of rattlesnakes, like regular rattlesnakes, timber rattlers and diamondbacks, they really, they're a lot of them get a bad rap. Excuse me. They're not an incredibly aggressive snake at all.
No.
That's why they have that rattle. They don't want to bite you. That's the last thing they want to do. They're not really aggressive.
They won't charge you. It takes a lot to get them to strike unless you step on them.
Yeah.
But normally if you walk up to them, they'll go the other way. Them moccasins, they know they're bad. And we've had them come off the bank over the side of the boat, and they'll come at you, lunging, trying to bite you. All you do is beat the bottom of the boat out with a paddle, trying to kill them. Yeah, they're bad news. Definitely don't like them.
Yeah, I don't mind snakes, but the last thing I want to do is get bit by a poisonous snake. My uncle, gosh, wow, he's a moron. He's an idiot. So he was a herpetologist, not a herpetologist. He basically what he did was he was a reptile handler and collector, and he had a license to have poisonous snakes so that he can milk them for the antivenom.
Yeah, the venomous reptiles.
Yeah, yep, and then send the venom out so that it could be made into antivenom. And the Connolly family has a lot of drinkers in it, as you can imagine from the Irish last name. He is no exception to the rule. He was out drinking pretty heavily one night with his friends, and he came home and he had a diamondback rattlesnake. Now, this rattlesnake, let me tell you this part first, okay? This rattlesnake he had for years. He didn't even keep it in its cage most of the time. He let it roam the house. Because this is how docile the snake was. He could handle it. He could pick it up. He could put it on his shoulder. Like, this thing never, ever, ever struck at him. But we're still talking about a rattlesnake, okay? So he goes out one night with his buddies. He's drunk. He comes home. He says they don't believe him about the snake. So he says, "Oh, watch. I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you." So he picks the snake up in his hands. He's holding it, and the rattle's not going. It's just laying there. She was a girthy snake, too. She was a big girl. And they're like, "Oh, come on, you're just holding it. It's not like you're moving it around or anything." So he was like, "I could do anything to this snake and it won't bite me." And so he took his finger and he started tapping her on her head like this.
Oh.
And after a couple taps, she went, "Fow!" and she latched onto his finger, and she didn't let go. She worked back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, working the venom in. By the time he got the snake off, his finger was already swelling up. He ended up going to the hospital. He got to the hospital. He was put in intensive care. When he was in intensive care, the nurse came in and she says, "I don't know if it's the amount of alcohol you drank tonight or if it's the amount of venom that's in your blood that's got you so messed up." But so he ended up losing not even losing. What happened was the venom ate through like a quarter of his finger. It destroyed the top of his finger. So his ring finger's shorter than the rest. But he was in intensive care for a week and a half.
If I remember right, what they explained to me is that the venom eats like the cells that are your body's made of. It eats the outside, what holds the cell together, the skin.
Right. It turns it into mush.
Yep. And it dissolves that skin and the cell's dead. And once that skin, that membrane's gone, it's dead.
Yep.
There's no saving it. I worked with a guy got bit in Hawaii, and they were out hiking. There was a log, and looking for snakes, making sure they weren't, not to collect them, but so they wouldn't get bit. And he leaned over. It was a big log, so he puts his hands over it. He leans over, looking down the other side. There's no snake there, so he goes to grab it and roll the log over. The way it was set up, if he would have stepped on it, it would have rolled and he could have broke a leg. So he just went to kind of move it. It wasn't a real giant log, but he went to move it over, get it on flat ground because it was kind of propped up. When he stuck his hands under it to grab the log, there was a rattlesnake under it, and it popped him on the pinky finger. I don't remember the distance, a few miles, I think it was. They're way out in the mountains. He gets back into his car, his whole hand swollen.
Yep.
It ended up, I think he was in the hospital 3 months. He lost that finger. They had to cut it off because the fangs penetrated the bone.
Oh.
But they split him from here all the way to the armpit
to relieve the pressure
on both sides of his arm.
Yeah.
Yep. To drain it. And he said that there was so much buildup. It was accumulating so fast they couldn't use the drain tube. They just opened him up. And he said for days, the tissue inside of his arm kind of like bellowed out. He said it looked fake, where the cut was. Mm-hmm. And it was just nonstop. He said all he could hear all night was the dripping nonstop of all that mess dripping out. But it almost killed him. And
yeah, of course.
And he said it was a pygmy rattlesnake.
Yeah. But, it's crazy. The little ones are the ones you got to watch out for when it comes to venomous snakes, because the older ones, mature snakes, can control their venom. The little ones don't know how yet. So it's not uncommon for a full-grown snake to give a dry bite. They don't want to use their venom unless they absolutely have to, because that venom is what helps them eat and digest their prey, right? Yeah. And they don't have an infinite amount. If they use it, it takes time to build back up. So if they use it on you and then they haven't eaten for 2 weeks and then there's something comes by, now they can't eat that. They can bite it, but they can't eat it because they can't digest it properly. So they don't always use their venom. The babies, though, they have no idea how to control it. So they always give a wet bite. Always.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I don't want to test it no more.
No, I'm good. I
was a believer after the first bite. I was a believer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm good. I don't.
Out of ignorance.
So hey, my mom. We I don't know where Mimi is. Somebody asked where Mimi is. Mimi, if you're here, say something. Also, if you're watching tonight and you don't like to comment in the chat, usually, I'm going to ask that you please just say hi or put a letter or something, just so you also can be entered in the drawings tonight for the 2 books and for the piece of merchandise. I want everybody who's here to be able to get a chance at winning these things. So if you don't like to talk, usually just put a letter A or hi or a smiley face or something, just so we can get you entered in that drawing. But what I wanted to say was my mother, since I started this channel, has become a believer, which is amazing.
Awesome.
And I say it because she has access now to so many people who are real, regular, down-to-earth people who have had these experiences and encounters that have changed their lives. You being one of them. She watches you regularly. And she says to me the other day, she says, did you watch Donnie today? And I said, no, I think it was like about a week ago. And I said, no, I haven't had a chance to yet. And she said, oh, Kyle, he's out in the woods and he says, all right, I got to get out of here. She said, you can just he's just scared. You can tell, you can see the fear in him still. I feel bad for him. And I said, well, listen, if you went through what he went through, you'd have fear being out there too. I mean,
it's it never goes away.
no,
It's nowhere near as bad as it used to be.
right.
There was, I mean, just 3 years ago, if I was out there and heard a twig snap, I was making my way back to the car, and it just would heighten my senses and just trying to pay attention to everything, but I wanted out because twigs just don't snap. It takes pressure on it. It takes something to break them. And I had she may be talking about. I went to share some articles. Actually, got them right here. I got some more from Brother Don today. But anyhow, I went up there to read the articles, and I was going to do it in an area on our property we call Jeff's Corner.
Jeff's Corner is scary from what I hear.
It's scary. Connor, Bigfoot Anon, he got to go in there and experience some of the weird. I mean, just the feelings alone that you get in there are it just something ain't right about that particular area on the property. Matt, Supernatural Spectrum, he went in there and he was getting sick. He kind of got an overload, I don't know if it was not a ghost paranormal, like a paranormal overload, or I don't know what was going on. I felt it, and it just kind of made you feel nauseous, and it's always done that. But I was in there. It wasn't long ago, maybe 5 or 6 days ago, and I was going to go into Jeff's Corner and do this article. I've never been able to go in there by myself. I went into it, but I get out. I don't stay. And so I went, tried to go, I just couldn't do it. And so I come out, but I was close to it. I mean, I was, I could have literally flipped a stick and it would have landed in the beginning of Jeff's Corner. And so there's a tree that fell over right there, a pine tree. And I mounted the camera near like the treetop where the limbs are, mounted it there. And then I sat down on the bank right beside the root ball. The tree is, a small pine about that big at the largest point on it. And I started going through the article, and I could hear something in the water. I was facing the creek. You can't see the creek right there. It's really thick on both sides of it. And to the left, probably 70 yards, give or take, there's a small waterfall, and you can hear it all the time. Well, I was trying to listen to everything around me, mainly the creek area because it's so thick. And I was reading an article, and I was hearing footsteps like behind the camera, and it sounded to be 50 or 60 yards from me before the waterfall, but close to it. And I kept listening, thinking maybe it's a stick that caught in the current, and now it's flopping over there at the waterfall from the current. And in my mind, I'm trying to come up with reasonable explanations as to why it sounds like footsteps. Well, then it started. I'm listening to it. I'm reading the article, and I can hear it coming toward me. It's walking in the creek water. Very obvious, very deliberate steps. And as it got closer, I could hear what it sounded like a second one on the bank in the leaves. I could hear the individual bipedal steps, and I knew the microphone wouldn't get it because I was using the wireless mic, and it's got the cancellation. It doesn't pick up all the background stuff. It's designed to pick up your voice, and so it does pick up some things, but it didn't get it, and I knew it wouldn't. But I tried to stay, and it was moving toward me kind of quick. It wasn't running, but the splashing now, with each splash, it was getting closer and closer. And right in front of me, the creek was 30 or 40 feet from me, was the edge of the creek. And it was coming, toward where I'm at, but in the creek. And I got up and just left. I got out of there. I let the camera go. I just let it keep running in case something happened. because they seem to be afraid of the cameras.
Yeah.
And I just left it recording with on that camera stick I got. When you get the DJI camera, they give you a camera stick. It's about that long, but when you extend it, it goes out like 5 feet. It's super long. And so I just extended the camera way up and I held it in front of me, but up high where I could see the little screen, kind of like a rear view mirror. I could see behind me.
What do you have? You have the action cam?
Yeah, the Action 3, DJI Action 3. And I love it. The battery lasts forever on it, which it died on me that day when I was coming out, but I was almost at the truck. It cut off and I kept walking and I powered it back up and started recording and ended up cutting off again. But yeah, the battery, I'd go through 2 GoPro batteries before I would have to change the battery out on it one time. It's really good.
Man, that's crazy. The battery on my Osmo does not last long at all. It gets so hot so fast, and it's like it's gone in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. It's dead.
Yeah, especially if you're filming like in 4K, it'll consume a lot of power.
Yeah, no, I film in 1080, but that's the lowest that it allows you to film in. We talked about this a little bit. Remember,
Yeah.
I said that I was having trouble finding an editing program because a 20-minute video at 1080 is 4 gigabytes of data.
Yeah, I know if I upload mine in high definition, they are larger.
Yeah.
I just use 1080p, the standard definition, and they upload pretty quick for the most part, but it's hard to do even a 30-minute video and keep it down, 2 gigs for 30 minutes. I don't know if you even can. It just takes up so much data to store. Those files, the video files, because it's got audio included with it, so that takes up even more. Guys, I'm sorry about the reflection. I keep seeing it on these glasses right there. It's the screen, what I'm looking at on the computer.
Mimi is excluded from winning. Mimi's my mother. Mimi cannot win. That would be that would be, that I would have no integrity if my mother won one of these things tonight. What do they call that? What's that word? Nepotism. There's no nepotism on this channel. My mother can't win. She already won. She's got me. She's good.
There you go. That's right. Or it might be the other way around. You might be the winner in that one.
I'm the winner. You bet. I'm the winner.
Absolutely. Your mother is God, especially in a child's eyes.
Oh, my mother is amazing. She's amazing.
Absolutely. That's what the world runs on, is mothers.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had I can't remember now. There's something I was going to share with you, and I was having problems getting set up.
That's all right. That's all right. So hey, I've been having a whole bunch of stuff going on in the state forest I've been going to.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we haven't talked really much. I'll have to send you some of the pictures. So three sets of footprints now in the last 4 months. All different sizes. One's 14 3/4, one's 14 even, and one's 11. And then there was a day that we were there that I heard there's this area, right, that I knew that there was something going on there. There was tree breaks that kept new ones that kept popping up. There would be like little X's, not big ones, not giant ones, little ones, logs about this big around, but only a couple feet long, and they'd be placed at the bottom of trees. Right?
Yeah, we found that at the property before.
Yeah, I kept seeing like they pop up like all over this area, and
then, they're leaned up against the tree, not laying on the ground. They're leaned
right up against it.
Yeah, that's what we found at the property before.
Yep, just like that.
Strange, really strange. And but I thought I seen Connor over there in the chat.
You may have. There he is. There he is. What's up, Connor?
Awesome.
So I knew something was going on, so I started going to this area all the time, and I would get there and I would walk around and I would just pretend I was doing my thing, not looking for anything. And then somebody suggested that I sing to them. And I'm like, well, first of all, I can't sing a lick, but I'll try it. And I tried it. And when I did, it was like something that I don't know if they were just so interested in knowing what I was doing that then they started interacting. I was getting knocking from 2 spots back and forth, and then I was getting whistling, and then I would whistle, and they would mimic the whistle.
Wow.
They would try to mimic what I did. Then you could hear them try to mimic different animals in the woods, like birds. I remember one trying to mimic a raccoon, and I know raccoon sounds very well. And this sounded kind of like a raccoon, but not like a raccoon.
Much louder and drawn
much
out.
louder and much deeper than a regular raccoon. That coo they do, that like that thing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you started hearing the movement in the bushes, a couple vocals, and this went on
That's
for
time
like.
to go. For me, that's time to go.
See, but there was nothing. It was all very docile. Even the movement was far enough away. It was right over the ridge, like right at the top of the ridge, right over the back of it, where I couldn't see because I'm down at the bottom, and I'm looking up, right, and but I could hear it. And it was all very quiet. It was just slight movements here and there. And I got a pine cone hit me in the back, and not hard. It was gentle, but it hit me in the back at a 90-degree angle. Like, I mean, it was.
Yeah, it scares me anytime I get the activity. I don't want it. I mean, I really don't want it. I like finding the stuff they leave behind, the footprints. The footprints it blows my mind.
Me too.
What they walk through.
Yeah.
And, we caught it at the property a few months back. I parked the truck, the Suburban. I walked down the hill across the culvert where the creek is. And I think I was checking cameras. I don't remember. When I come back, where my boot prints were in the sand, there's a bare footprint on top of my boot track. And I almost missed it. I was walking up. I was still filming. And I was talking, and I just passed it, and I thought, it kind of registers, hey, this footprint, in your mind. And I just glanced back, and I seen it, and it comes out of the woods on one side. As I'm going to the truck, it came out from the left, and it just a pretty decent stride across the road. It wasn't a big footprint, probably a size 10. I wear a 13 boot, and it was a little smaller than my foot. Wide. It was real wide print, but it went right across and down the side. We got this little cleared area. That's the area that we're calling Camp Carrie Arnold, and there's cactus right there, and the print was right on a cactus. This is a bare footprint right over the cactus. No marks where he stopped and was hopping on one foot to dig the thorns out. It just kept going right up into the woods, and that's that time to go for me. It scares me anytime I find this stuff. It don't bother me if I'm right at the vehicle, but when you got another 200 yards to go and it's uphill and you find the footprints, or you hear that weird clicking, like teeth, like somebody snashing their teeth together.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get scared too. I'm just forcing myself to go with it. And if something happens that I feel changes the dynamic, right? That seems to be more aggressive, then I'm out. And there comes a point. It got to that point, and I leave. I'm done. I don't push it. If it's playful and stuff, like, I'll stay and I'll hang out because that's why I'm there, right? And I haven't had the encounter you've had. That's on a totally different level. But yeah, it gets nerve-wracking. I have to push myself to do it. Trust me. Every time I have to force myself to stay there because my instinct says run. You can't see them. You don't know how big they are. You know they're big. You just don't know how big. You don't know how close they are. I mean, you know they're close, but you don't know how close. It's crazy. Real quick, I wanted to say this. Yes, I called my uncle an idiot. My mother is telling you it's on my biological father's side, and she says it's true. because they are. Let me explain something real quick. I won't harp on this much, but if you're new here, my biological father is a complete piece of dog crap. He was not there for me. He's over and over and over again. He has got my hopes up that he was going to be a part of my life, and then he leaves. He's almost 70 years old, and he is still wasting his life away drinking by himself in his house. His brother is not quite as bad as him, but still can be kind of an idiot. And then my other uncle is a pretty good guy. But yes, I'm not talking about my uncle that like we're not close or anything like that. It's not like he's been in my family, my life, and done anything for me. If I say my dad, then I'm talking about the man who raised me. That's my stepdad. That's my dad. He raised me. So just so you guys know, sorry, had to clear that up.
It's all good. It's all good.
So, let me see what's going on here in this chat. Oh, don't be sorry to hear that. I'm good. I got wonderful parents. They did a wonderful job. Well, they did their job. I was just a maniac when I was young. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Hey, Mom, remember when I ran away in the blizzard? How smart was I?
Yeah.
I ran away in a blizzard, a full-on blizzard, and here's the best part. I did it wearing snow camo. So if I had gotten lost somewhere, you weren't finding me. It was like an inch and a half an hour coming down, and I just left. I'm running away, and I took off. The Waterford police had to come pick me up. Yeah. I was an idiot. I was a maniac. My poor parents. My poor parents.
Yeah, that was kind of our family setup. I had the greatest parents in the world. I was just a complete imbecile.
Right. Yeah. Not their fault. Yeah, not their fault.
All the times I got in trouble, I never received a spanking that I did not deserve.
For sure.
Not one time. And I'd give anything in the world. I mean, absolutely anything to bring my parents back for 2 minutes. Just enough to give them a hug, tell them I love them again.
Yeah.
But we'll see them again.
Agreed.
Life's short and we get in there quick. So.
Oh, I did go rogue fresh. I was definitely rogue for a very long time. I was like a feral cat. That's what I was. I was like a feral cat. I'd run away. I remember they went away on vacation once, and I think I was 15. I had a couple people over, not a party, because I didn't want people in the house breaking stuff or anything. I just wanted a couple of my friends over. But I thought I was smart enough to be able to take the car with no license, right? Take the car for a joyride without anyone knowing. So I took my dad's car for a joyride while they were away or whatever. Well, if you know my dad, you have to know that my dad is like the most anal guy there is. He's OCD. So when his car's parked there, his seat is exactly where it's supposed to be. His radio station is where he keeps it. He knows the mileage. Yeah, I didn't take any of that into consideration. I just took this thing out for a joyride, parked it when he got back, the seats leaned back. There's a rap station on with the volume blasting. Wasn't hard to figure out what happened there, was it?
He was proud of you, wasn't he?
Oh God.
Kyle, did I ever let me see if I got it here before I mention it, because I wanted to show you. Yeah, there it is. Did I ever show you those Sasquatch heads that Patty Royalty makes?
Yeah, show them again if you got them, because they were awesome.
Yeah, I got another one. Now, Don Moore. That's if you ever hear me talking about Brother Don, that's Don Moore. He's the one that provides us the articles that I share on our channel, and I got some more came in today. I got one of them. It said it's got some graphic details in it, but I got a pile of them here. But anyway, Patty is a good friend of his, and she makes these, and they're made out of what she finds when she's out in the forest doing her hikes. She just finds stuff and she builds these phenomenal heads. They're right here. Let me get them
These
up.
things are so neat.
I'll show you this newest one that I sent. There it is. And this is the female. This is the blonde.
So neat.
Isn't that crazy?
So neat, man.
And this is she uses like moss and the inside of the palm fronds on the palm tree. She'll shred them up and get them fibers out. That's what she makes the hair out of. Acorns for eyes.
So
made
cool.
up shells and just pieces of bark. I mean, look at that. But the male, the other one, that was the one that you had seen. That was the first one. And I had shared these and shared her contact information because she was trying to figure out, she's on a very, very limited income, very small, limited, like less than mine. And she's just trying to make ends meet, make a little extra. And so she was selling them. And so I put them out there to try to help her out. And she's on Facebook, Patty Royalty. This is the male, and I love this thing.
So cool, man.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so
all
cool.
Seashells and acorns and the palm frond, the fiber from the palm frond. Look at that.
That's that fiber is what really makes that thing like.
Yeah, no, let me see how close I can get where you can see.
Look at the eyes, man. Look at that.
Isn't that crazy? Seashells and acorns and even the teeth. But it was so wild. And Don sent me a picture of the female. He had two of them. And he wanted to send me one. I said, I got the one that I already got. And he said, well, I want to send you one of these. Because once we get set up and I get my office going, I'm going to have these on the wall. That's the male and female. The blonde one is the female. Isn't that cool?
Those are so cool, man. I got to get one.
Sorry about shaking.
No, you're good.
I shake really bad. And they got even the back of them is made with stuff that she finds. Just pieces of wood and
so neat, man.
She's got the cordage to hold it together. But she's done such an amazing job on these. And she's created some other things that when I was down there, I stopped by her house and seen some of this stuff. And I mean, she's got a talent that is rare. And that's just an old piece of wood that she found. See how weathered it is? And that's what she built. Cool. That's where she built him on.
It's amazing the talent that people have, right?
Crazy. And somebody has that's a pine cone, like the inside of a pine cone. I just noticed it. His nose, the ridge of it.
So crazy.
And just talent. That's way beyond anything I could ever do, for sure.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you have to have the vision first, and then you have to be able to execute that vision.
Yeah. I mean, she made a snake that it looks real, and it's made out of I don't know if it's a vine or a root, but it's almost scary looking. And she's got some very intricate stuff that she's built like that, and it's all out of items that she's found. And it's just mind blowing that somebody could do that with their bare hands.
Go check her out, people. Patty Royalty.
Yeah, Patty Royalty. And if you Don Moore, he's on our channel, Sand Goats Rescue, a lot.
Yeah,
Don can get you hooked up with Patty. I don't have her Facebook. I'm sorry about it. That's our deaf dog. I can't yell at her because she can't hear me.
I think my dog might be deaf then.
Yeah, that's Gracie. The others hear me, but she doesn't. It's all hand signal with her.
That's funny.
That's strange.
Oh yeah. Also, Donnie. Donnie said he's giving something away tonight. He's giving away a baby goat tonight. It's part of the giveaway.
There we go. We got a pile of them. We got a little bitty one. Kim's on the phone, or I'd get her to bring him. One of her friends, her goat had twins, 2 little girls.
Oh,
Mama just can't care for them or is not caring for them. So she brought one over, wasn't doing well. The one that she kept was doing fine. Kim got this one up to par. Then the lady brings the other one over, and she didn't make it through the night. And I actually had to bury that one today. But let me see. Hey, baby. Kim. I just heard her.
Here's the problem. Maverick really took his name and ran with it. I mean, he heard Maverick and he's like, "Oh, you want Maverick? I'll give you a Maverick." I should have named him something. He should have been named something else, like, Docile Don, or like, Lazy Lou, and maybe he would have taken to that name a little better. He just took the Maverick and was like, "Okay, I'll show you."
Hey, baby. Yes, honey. Is the little baby goat sleeping?
Hang on, I'll get her.
No, we get to see a little baby goat.
She's gonna bring it.
Oh,
this
boy.
thing, they're premature, and this one's doing good. She's like this. Sounds like a.
Oh my goodness.
She squeaks. She calls. Be careful coming in. That step ladder thing fell over. You get past it.
Hang on.
But this little thing is tiny.
Give me just a minute.
Oh, thank you, Sharon. Thank you so much. You're very kind.
She's not out of the woodwork yet as far as her health, but she's definitely getting better. She's doing good. She's eating good.
Good.
Kim woke her up.
Oh boy. I'm gonna melt into a big pile of mush when this goat appears. You watch.
Look at that little thing.
Oh my goodness.
It was about 2 pounds now.
Are you kidding me?
Are you hungry? Yeah, she's hungry.
Oh, look at her.
Yeah, she's bottle fed. Huh? You hungry?
Look at her markings. Look at her eyes.
Isn't she pretty?
She looks like she's got the Joker paint on her, like the Crow or something.
Oh, the crow. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it
the
now.
Crow.
What are you doing? What are you fussing for? Call it to her, man.
That's right. Hey.
Oh, she is absolutely perfect.
See if she'll squeak for
She'll
you.
squeak, pick her up.
She still got her umbilical
She's
cord
only
right
4
there.
days old.
Oh my goodness. 4 days?
Yeah, she's tiny. Little bitty.
Look at that little thing. Oh, you
Who's that girl?
are adorable.
Yeah, she's little bitty. Who's that?
Oh God, I need that.
Your cat had probably whipped the tar out of this thing. She is little.
Oh man.
She's standing in your book.
Yeah, I don't want her to jump on
She
you.
is
Oh, she
beautiful.
can't. You got it?
She's beautiful.
Who's that?
Yeah, we lost your sister this morning.
No, I'm sorry. That's terrible.
You hungry? Yeah, she's hungry.
Come here.
But I thought you'd get a kick out of that little thing.
Come here.
Well, hey, if you guys want Maverick merch, I put some Maverick merch in the store. Absolutely. What about the cats, though? You can't have Maverick merch without the cats. I mean, Ollie's really the mascot for the Encrypted Connections channel.
That's cool. Did you
We'll
hear
have
the
to-
squeak?
That was cute. That was super cute.
Go tell him night night. Tell Daddy night night.
You going to bed?
In a
Oh
minute.
my God, I want to
hungry.
cuddle with that thing so bad right now.
That's all she does is cuddle.
If you lay down with her, put her beside you, she'll just curl up in a knot right there, and that's where she'll stay.
Oh my God, that's so cute, man. That's so cute.
You know what's
Amazing.
it was crazy. All the stuff that we've had happen here from the big guys through the years, we've never had a problem with the goats.
No.
Birds, yeah, different story with the birds, the chickens. We had, I don't remember, did I show you when we talked on the phone one time on the camera phone? What do you call it? The camera phone? Where you talking, you're looking at the camera. Didn't I show you the locks that we got on the chicken?
Yes.
they were undoing those. You know,
Yeah.
they would lift it up and slide it over, open the door and help themselves between 5 and 8 birds a night, and
Unbelievable.
wiped us out. You know, we had close to 200 birds, and they whittled them down. We got down to about 15 of them, and Kim called a friend of hers to come get them because they're going to be gone in a couple more days if they stay in here. And we got quail in it now, and we haven't had any problem. But it's been empty for probably a year. We haven't had nothing in it. So maybe they don't know that the quail are there. I hope not.
Maybe they just don't like quail.
Maybe they can't see them. They're so, they're just little old balls. But that's where I had to remove the snake from today, an oak snake, a little over 4 foot. He was in there.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And so I got him. I took him to the property and let him loose. He's harmless. He didn't even try to strike me, didn't attempt to bite me. And I put him in one of the dogs. They got these containers, big plastic containers where treats come in. And I put him inside one of them containers and took him up to the property and let him go. But it's as far as losing animals, we lost eggs, duck eggs from oak snakes, big ones. We removed 2 of them that were over 6 foot, very fat snakes. And then we lost chicken eggs from the oak snakes and 1 rat snake, but that was it. The chickens, the door would get open, birds would end up missing, and the door would get closed. And most of the time it'd get locked back. And
that's so crazy.
Well, at first, one of the times I found the lock was still unlocked, and I thought someone left it that way. And the birds got out, an owl got them, or a hawk. We've got one bald eagle that lives somewhere close by, and we thought one of the big predatory birds got him. And
wasn't that the time we were talking on the phone and you were showing me that? Didn't you say that they were shutting off your lights or something?
They were breaking them.
Oh, okay.
What they were doing, the lights we got at 4 corners of the house, we got 1 fixture at each corner, and it's got 2 bulbs on it. And the way that we have them aiming, the entire perimeter of the house is lit up when you turn them on. And they're the 500 watt, the round lights about that big, and they got a flat front on them. The part that the light shines from is flat, and it's got a texture on it.
Yep.
They get real super hot. Well, the lens part, the textured part, was disappearing. I'd go out there and we turn the lights on, and we'd have dark spot on the north end of the property or the south end. It never happened in the front or the back. It was one of the 2 ends facing the woods, normally the north end. We went out there and there's no lens. The whole lens is just gone. It's popped off the bulb. And we replaced them. I think it was about 8 times that I replaced them. And it's $9 for 2 of them lights. And I stopped replacing them. We'd replace them. Sometimes it'd be the next day. You go out there and both lights facing north, the lenses would be missing. And they're a little over 9 foot off the ground. The goats ain't getting them. They can't reach them.
Yeah.
And I've got a 6 foot ladder, and I put the ladder there. I got to climb up to I got 2 steps and the top of the ladder, above where I'm standing, just to be able to reach them, to change them. So something's walking up, holding the bulb and popping that lens off. And Jeff, he took one, not one of mine, but the same light. They are GE lights we got from Home Depot, and Jeff went and got one just to test it. And he put it in his vise, and he put some type of chain wrench on it.
I was going to say it must take a lot of strength.
He couldn't get it off. And Jeff's strong. I mean, that guy is super strong. And he said he tried and he could not get that lens off for nothing. But he's the one that found the lens.
In the tree?
Yeah. He had come down, and they had been taking the lenses for probably a year, I guess, maybe longer. And he come down and asked about the lights, and I showed him. I said, yeah, I showed him the lights. He said, well, where's the lenses? And I told him we never found them. You know, we raked this. There's no grass up there. It's just sand. And to date, I've never found them. We found a piece of one chunk. It was like a 2/3 of one of the lenses, one that had broke. I never found the other third of it, but that's the only one that I found. And that was just about directly under the northwest corner. But never found any of the others. And we've graded that with the tractor. I've run the rake through it. In the beginning, we didn't do anything with the dirt as far as the tractor. We didn't take it over there at all. So I raked it by hand, and we never found it. And Jeff come down, and I explained to him where we were seeing eye shine, where we seen the creature walking away from the fence, and where the stomping and all this stuff was happening. And I showed him. He wanted to walk over there, so we walked around for I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and I was showing him the game trail, because there's a game trail around the sinkhole, which is a pond now. And Jeff wanted to walk around it on the west side of it, which is toward the highway. And I told him, I said, I got about halfway around it, but it's real thick back there, and I got real creeped out every time I tried. I can go around the other end, the east side, but not that west side. Just something about that one corner kind of, it gets under my skin. Well, was walking down, Jeff was to my right, and I was showing him. I said, yeah, there's a trail right there where you're standing, and just kind of pointing. It goes this way, and it just showing him where it goes. And he's looking over toward me, and he said, what is that? And at first I didn't know what he's talking about, and he was pointing in front of me a little ways, and I couldn't see it. He said that stub. And I told him, I said, oh, that's an oak tree. It was about that big. And something broke it. It was broke off, and the top was standing up right beside it. Like something broke it off and set it to the side. And Jeff said, no, what is that right there? And I said, that's the oak tree. And he kept pointing, what is that? And so I showed him. I said, you mean right there? And I was pointing to the top part of the tree that was sitting beside it. He said, yeah. And I said, that's the top of the tree. And he said, no, I'm not talking about that. What is that on top of that stub? Well, where I was at, I was, them lenses are probably that big around.
Yeah.
They're about I don't know, 1/4 inch thick. They're pretty thick, solid glass. Well, the narrow side was facing me, so I wasn't seeing it. He was seeing the wide part of it, and I couldn't see it. And he sat on top of that stub, and he started walking toward me, and I was walking toward the stub, and where I had to walk around a limb there, then I could see it. I didn't know what it was. And Jeff said, is that one of them lenses? And when he said that, then it registered. That's what it looks like. And I got up on it, and it was. The oak, the stub was still alive. And this thing, I mean, it was broke off like somebody hit it with an overgrown baseball bat. It was a pretty good tree, and it was just sheared off. The top sitting beside it, and this lens was shoved down in it. The tree was not split. It wasn't cut, but it was probably that deep into the fibers of the tree. I couldn't move it. Jeff put his hands on that lens, and he was jerking it and moving. That stub's like that, and he was bowing that stub, and that lens wasn't moving. And it's still down there. But
That's
I
crazy.
went about 3 or 4 months ago. I walked over there just to check, and it's still there, but it's loose now. You can pull it up. The tree's dead, and it's rotted, and the wood split where that's shoved down in there.
Yeah.
But what's so strange, if you pull it up and look at the impression where the lens is, all the wood fibers are like mashed down. Like it looks like it was forced in, like with a big hammer or them hydraulic things that they push bearings out. It looks like something that just shoved it into the fibers of that tree. I mean, it was crazy, but the tree was alive. With it
That's
being
so
dead,
nuts.
anybody could probably, if you had gloves on, you could probably pound it into a dead tree pretty easy. But it wasn't dead, and Gary and Mark seen it.
It's those things, man. There's just people are gonna constantly try to tell you that it's not them, that it's this, that it's that whatever. But when you see things like this, you can't. It's just so hard to refute it, especially when you see it in person. Like I'm out in the woods and I see a giant, a whole tree, a giant tree. I don't know how big this thing was. It was maybe 40 feet tall, 40 feet long, and probably that big around. I mean, just a big tree. And this thing is there's no stump around anywhere. And it's placed like in this area, like it had to have been picked up and brought there, because I looked everywhere for the stump or a hole and there was nothing. And then 10 yards from that, there's another one. It's shorter. It's probably 20 feet long. It's almost as big around. And this thing is wedged down in between where the tree splits like this. Another tree, it's wedged down between that so hard that it's flattened the sides. Like that's how hard this is pulled down into there. Two of us tried moving this thing. We couldn't budge it, not even a centimeter. It wouldn't budge.
That takes a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. And then what did I film the other day? These guys saw this. Some of these guys saw this. Craziest thing I've seen yet. There's a tree that's standing up like this, right? It's in the ground, rooted and everything. There's another tree that's leaning on it like this, right? They're both almost the same height, but the tree that's leaning on it is not touching the ground. It's like I don't know, the bottom of it's probably 6 feet off the ground, and it's like leaning on this tree, suspended in it.
That's weird.
How's that happen?
Yeah,
if it fell,
strange.
If it fell, right, it would be leaning on it and touching it, and and the bottom would be on the ground. No. This thing is it's like it's the craziest. I have to show you still. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Is there any vines like grown up wrapped
Nothing.
around it or something?
Nothing.
Wow. Yeah, we got I went out the other day when I did the articles, when I heard the footsteps, the one in the water and the one on the bank beside it. I originally was going in. I got 2 game cameras out there, and I'm not exactly sure where they're at. I know that the general area. One of them, this was back probably October or November, early hunting season. Hunting season opens in October. So it was either the end of October, the first half of November. I went to check the game cards because we're trying to plot out where these bucks are going. And I went to where the one camera was. I got it on a tree. The tree's down. The camera, just as reference, this being the trail camera, I got it strapped to the tree. The tree's down. It's got my camera smashed against the ground. It's the roots and all. And that tree was not dead. It was alive. I make darn sure that I put the cameras on living trees, because the ones that record video, if the tree's dead, you get beetles, pine beetles get in them, these grubs that eat the wood. And if you get a video clip come on, you'll hear the grub. That's all you hear in it, because I guess it echoes through the dead wood. And so we don't mount them on dead trees at all because of the beetles. Your video clips, that's all you'll hear. You won't hear the deer walking. You won't hear them fight. You won't hear nothing. You just hear the crunching. And so I put it on that tree. That tree was alive, and it was down. A pine tree, still got pine needles on it. It was still alive, even down on the ground. And I left it. I couldn't get the camera out because there's the weight of the trees on it. And I was going to come back with my chainsaw and cut the tree and then roll that section where I can undo my camera, because it's not a high dollar camera. It's like a $40 or $50 camera, but it's money. I can't just go out and buy another one. I need to get that camera. But I went back to try to get that one and then figure out where the other one was. And I was just running out of daylight pretty quick. I couldn't find the exact spot where the one was that was on the fallen tree. But I got to go back in there. And what I think I'm going to do is when I get up on it, I'm going to film it. I want to, and when I do that, I may just do a little short clip, and I'll call you and I'll send the clip to you, or I'll get you on a live phone call and show it to you. If I can set it up, my phone gets good enough signal, I can call you on a video screen. I'll film it too, but I'll mount my phone to where you can see when I dig it out. Because what I want to do, and I don't know how to do it on video, it would take entirely too much footage to do it. But if there's something on that camera, on that memory card, if I got a hair covered hand or arm or anything, if I've caught anything in regards to the big guys, if I go in there and I film the camera and I film me removing the camera, and then the next footage that I put in the video is me showing you what's on that memory card, I'll get a lot of these passerbys that aren't part of our family here at Encrypted Connections or at Standing Goats Rescue. These are people who just pass by, and the ones that come in and try to debunk or attack anything you put up. And I'd end up getting a bunch of just nonsense over, well, you showed you filmed removing the camera, but that footage could have been from anywhere.
Right.
So I don't know how to do it to show, because there may not be nothing on the footage at all.
Yeah, but
if there is, I just wish there was a way I could do it. I've got a card reader, and I think I'm going to bring my tablet, because if I can get you on the phone on a video call and have it live where you can see me when I'm get the camera out, and I'll pull the card right there where you can see it and put it in the tablet, and we'll just open it up and we'll see it together.
Oh man.
And if we got something on it, I'll have you as a witness. You've seen the process in real time as
right.
I collected it.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Can you imagine? Oh
yeah. I don't know what's on it, but I don't know why that tree would fall.
yeah.
It's not in an area where there's any washout from the rain. We've had no rain.
That's the thing too. Like you these areas so well when you go in them so often. Like I go every weekend, usually 2 days a week, and I'm usually there for 3 to 4 hours every time, sometimes longer. And you walk these areas constantly, over and over and over and over and over. You get to know every rock, every piece of moss, every tree, you just get to know it. And when you see things like this and you think like, okay, was there a storm? No, there wasn't a storm. There was no wind. There was no rain. There was no snow load. So how did this happen? If it's a live tree, it doesn't just break. They don't just break. They don't fall.
I had mentioned it to some guys that we hunt with, and they said, well, somebody probably went in there and pushed it over. And I was telling him the tree's that big. I don't know 10 men that could push a pine tree that big over.
Nah.
The roots are the whole root ball is lifted up. It's still rooted, but the majority of the roots are broken out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found it and found the tree down, the tree was still alive. But when I went back, I think it was January, the end of December, the end of December. When I went back to try to get the camera out, it was cold. It was real cold. It was misting. And I went up to it, and most of the pine needles are off of it now. The tree's dead. It still had some on it, but the tree's dead. The camera's still there. And I didn't fool with it. It was too cold. I didn't want to get wet. You bend over when it's raining. Rain runs down the crack of your backside, and I didn't want to deal with that. It was too cold. But I am going to go back and get it, and I got to figure out how I'm going to do it, because I've been thinking about it the last 2 days, and if there's something on the camera, it's going to be really hard to prove to people or to show them that, it's not a setup.
Right.
I'd like to be able to show the whole process of me digging the camera out, getting the strap off.
And we can do that. And I can screen record the whole thing. So to record what's going on the screen as you're doing it. Yes.
Awesome. That would be amazing.
Yep.
That's at our property. And we've been getting just weird stuff on one camera in particular. And the camera where most of the stuff happens is it is due south of Jeff's Corner, probably 400 yards. It's quite a ways from there. And we got just this past week, the video, I think it was the video that I shared the article when I was hearing the footsteps in the water. And I left. I went to the truck. I finished the article at the truck. But I wanted to be closer. I don't want to be away from my truck that far and with all the stuff happening. But I believe I put the 2 pictures at the end of that video. I don't remember. Oh, I may be able to pull it up and I can tell you the name of it for those that are interested. If anybody in the chat is interested in seeing the video, my phone's about to cut off. I'm gonna pull it up right now. I just opened my phone and it says encrypted connections. I got your channel up.
I'm gonna show you guys something else too, because I'm taking pictures right now, screenshots.
Okay, I think it's okay. It's the one that's titled "In the Woods Sharing Dogman Articles."
Okay,
that's the one. It's the last one that I uploaded. If you go to the end of it, you don't have to listen to the video. You don't have to watch it. But at the very end of the video, what I did, I show a picture of the one of the anomalies I caught on that camera. And it's a beam of light coming in from the top. It's at night. You got a beam of light.
I saw this.
Second, I put 2 pictures. I put both of them up twice. I showed the plain picture. And then all I did when I edited it is I put an arrow pointing to the beam and just a little question, beam of light with a question mark. And I did it on both the pictures. One of them is coming straight down. The second one is coming at an angle. I don't know what it is, but that's the same camera that I caught the big, I think it is a paranormal figure. What do they call it? Right at the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. Apparition. It's got this gigantic apparition on the screen, and best guess, I would say 11 foot, maybe 12 foot. It looks like a person walking away from the camera with their arms like it's holding something in its arms. And I thought it looked like it had his arms bent in front of it, like it was carrying something. Because you can see the legs, you can see all the way down to the feet, especially if you play with the light colors, the shadow, or I don't know what it is, but where you can
like
lighten
the
it up,
filters and all that. Yeah.
If you can darken it down a little bit and then slowly brighten it up, you'll see the actual feet on you can see the whole figure. And I showed it to Kim. I didn't tell her nothing about it. I said, "Look at this. What do you think that is?" And she said, "That looks like a ghost." So it looks like an Indian, like a squaw holding an infant. And I never even thought about it. And it could be that. I've documented apparitions years ago when I was doing the ghost hunting before I had what happened to me doing that mess. We documented a lot. I never documented anything that size. We caught some stuff in the 7-foot range that looked human. But this is enormous. And on that, when I shared that picture, I also put a picture of me walking down in front of that same camera.
Right.
And I tried to get in front of the camera and signal it where it would snap my picture. And I thought I was standing in the same spot this apparition was, and I wasn't. I think I was a lot closer to the camera or further away. I can't remember. But it just that my feet and its feet were definitely not in the same spot. But that same camera, I keep getting all these light beams. We're getting these little balls of light going through the camera. And it's
You
only
got
that.
some kind of paranormal something going on.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff that happens, especially in that area. And it's from Jeff's Corner all the way back, just probably 70 or 80 yards further past where that camera's mounted, to the south. It's just that one stretch. The rest of the property, we have stuff happen, but normally I believe it's the big guys. I don't think it's paranormal, the other stuff, but that side right there, it's creepy. You can get there and just get overwhelmed with goosebumps, and you can almost feel somebody walking up behind you.
Oh yeah.
And you turn around, there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's like the Patchogue has those spots too. As a matter of fact, there was a place. It's the only time it's ever happened to me in my life. This was like 2 months ago, maybe. I was out in a different area there that I had never been to, and it's one of these areas I had driven through when the gates were all open to the trail roads there that you can drive through the whole forest.
That's state land, right?
State land, yeah. And but it's known as one of the most haunted forests in the United States.
Wow.
And so I knew this, but the places that I go to do the Bigfoot investigating don't have those feelings. They feel completely different. But there are areas there that when you get to them, they feel just wrong. They don't feel good at all. And this place, I was there. It was the first time I'd been in this area. And as soon as I got there, I said, I was on live like I always am. And I said, something don't feel right here. And I just didn't, it just felt off. But I continued going. And instantly, like it just happened instantly, I got overwhelmed with this nausea, dizziness, lightheaded. My legs felt like they were jello and like I weighed 1,000 pounds. And then I felt like I was going to pass out. I started having that starry, those like sparkles you see.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I know an area that I had the same feelings, but when I step into this one spot on this property, the first thing that hits me, I'll start losing my balance. That's the very first thing that happens. I start getting a little dizzy, like I'm going to fall.
Yeah.
And then instantly, I don't know where I'm at. I start.
That was the other thing.
This mass confusion, and you got to.
I couldn't put a thought together.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happens. I was filming at that property a couple of years ago. I was coming out, and I was mentioning, we're coming into that area where that feeling happens, and you can walk around it. When you walk into it and you start feeling it, the hair coming up on your neck, and you start getting that sick feeling. You can back up and you can go around it, but it kind of moves, but it don't move far, maybe 10 yards, maybe. It just kind of drifts, but it stays in the same spot. Well, I went around it. I didn't have a lot of heavy stuff happening, but I felt it. I knew I was right there at it. I get past it, and I'm filming the whole time. And I'm just, I don't know, 10 yards past it. And a voice comes on my camera captures a voice, not mine. Somebody whispered, zap, 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 zap. But it's so clear. And when I was doing the editing, I would cut out a lot of where you're just walking and you're not seeing, there's nothing worth sharing. And so I'll cut out a lot of sections. And so I'll listen to like 5 minutes of it. And if there's nothing there that I want to share, then I'll cut that section out. And I was listening to it. I heard that voice and I was, whoa, and I paused it. I backed up, turned the volume up, and I mean, it was so clear. You couldn't understand what it was saying, but definitely a voice. And so I marked it. And then I put a notation, when the voice starts, I just put a notation to listen. There's a voice. And I asked people if they could understand what it's saying, to let me know. And some people emailed me with suggestions they thought it could be, and nothing really lined up. And I got an email. Excuse me. I got an email from a lady that said, "Did you ever think that it could possibly be Native American language?"
Yeah.
And that never crossed my mind. Oh, nose has been
Good idea.
irritating me.
You went to take a sip of your water, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm thirsty. I gotta take a sip." We did that in
Excuse me.
surround sound. Real quick, I'm gonna pull these pictures up. I want you to see these two things real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to show these guys too who weren't able to watch last weekend.
Yeah. Oh, before I forget, I know it's something I could tell you off when we're on a phone call. Here in the next day or so, when you're not busy, if you would, could you call me and explain to me how you're sharing pictures and stuff? Because I can't figure it out. How to share a picture on this, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I'll call you tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you greatly. I'm sorry about that, guys. I keep meaning to ask Kyle about that, and I never remember.
So here's the tree, okay, that I was talking about that's suspended in the other tree. Now, you can only see, I got to scroll. I got to scroll, okay, so you can see this. How does that get there?
Wow.
How does that get there? It didn't fall.
That's not a small tree either.
No, and it didn't fall because this whole area to the right, to our right, I looked in that whole area. There was no hole. There's no stump. There's no nothing.
That was like I don't know if you remember the television show they had on several years back, and they called it the Haunted Forest. A lot of people committed suicide in it. It looks like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's creepy. I mean,
and then that's not it.
Wow.
And then I'll show you. Hold on. Let me get my other pickup. I get back to my car. Okay. And I had been out in the woods for a couple hours. It started snowing. It was cold. It was really cold. It was like 20. And it started snowing. It got colder. I was soaking wet. I was ready to go home. There wasn't a whole lot of anything happening. On my way out, right. So I tell people this, there's a parking lot there that I park in, but this parking lot is in the middle of the forest. Like you drive down this long road and you're surrounded by state forest. There's just parking lots there that they have people you can park in so you can get off on the trails and stuff. So even in the parking lot, you have forest all around you and you're in there. It's not like it's right by the road or anything. You're pretty deep in there. So I'm heading back to the parking lot and I hear a wicked loud tree knock, so loud. And it's not far. It's like maybe 100 yards to my right. And I'm like, I said it. I'm like, oh my God, you guys hear that? So now I'm freezing. I'm cold. I'm soaking wet. I just want to get in my car and warm up. But this tree knock happens right on my way out. So I stop and listen. Then I hear a whistle. And it's not a bird whistle. It's snowing. There's no birds doing anything at this point. It's not a bird whistle. I mean, it sounds like a human whistle. It's like like that. And I'm like, I go, oh my God, it's a whistle. So I stop, wait, another whistle, and then another knock. So I waited a little while. I knocked on a tree, got nothing back. And then I was like, all right, I can't do this. I can't feel my hands with going to the car. And then I go to the car and I'm get ready to open my hatchback. And this was on the back of my car. Under the snow.
That's like the hieroglyphs with the sticks.
Yep.
Wow.
I don't know how to explain that. I just don't know how. There was nobody there. There was no one there. There was one car when I got there. When I left, there was no other car in the parking lot. And I highly doubt that some person did this.
They're not going to come up and put some sticks on your car and make a design for you. I don't think anybody's going to do that.
And it's hard to see, but
I can see it good.
To the left, there's another small stick that's leaning up against it.
Yeah, I see that one right at the end of that stick that's going horizontal.
Yep. And somebody said to them, it looked like a backwards high, HI. And I was like,
Oh, it does, sort of.
I could see that kind of. But either way, it was just the strangest thing, man. It was just
that's
weird.
crazy.
Very weird. No footprints. No nothing. Nothing.
Wow. I've had sticks on the car. I had one on the car not too long ago on the Suburban, and it was probably that big around 2.5 foot, 3 foot, and it was right on the roof. But I didn't know where I parked the truck at. I went hunting up there. It was probably I guess 2 weeks ago, and where I parked, this area we call the chop, they forested that area. They took everything, the oak trees, the magnolias, the hickories, the pines. They took everything, and all it is now is the stuff's growing back, but it's some of it's 10, 12 foot, but it's it's some type of weed. It's just junk. But where I'm parking at is a cleared area. There is no brush right there. It's we took the tractors, we pushed all the stumps away to where we got a nice level area to park. You get out of the truck and you walk 50 or 60 yards, and then you get into the pine trees where they haven't forested it yet. So I'm in the wide open. I come back, I got wet, got cold, got in the truck, and I backed out. I just kind of backed up on the road and took off. I get to the gate, get out, unlock the gate. I'm walking back to the truck, and I see the stick on the roof. It's laid right on top of the roof, like between the driver door and the passenger door. It's right there. And I got a roof rack, just a basic rack that comes on them. Two bars going from front to back, and then two little bowed bars, that connect them. And it's right forward of the front bar. No, that luggage rack thing is just on the front side of it. I don't know how it got there. There's no dents in it. It wasn't thrown. It was placed there. Chris was in Gatlinburg, wherever that is. Is that Tennessee or that's Tennessee, I think. He was in Gatlinburg that week. Tom is the only other guy that hunts there, but he's retired. His wife went back to work. He wasn't able to hunt that week because they got a young son still in school. So I was there alone. It's gated. Nobody else has access. And for them to walk in there, they would have had to walk 500 yards from the gate to get to where I was parked. You can't even see the truck because there's a hill coming from the gate. It kind of goes up, and there's a hill. I was on the back side of the hill, and it's all dirt around the truck. There was no tire tracks, no boot prints other than mine, no footprints of any type. And somehow this stick ended up on the roof. But I've had gravel put on the roof. I've had rocks. I've had piles of pine cones on the roof, just like almost like a igloo shape where it's just piled up in one little spot. And it could be people.
Yeah, but so who's going to do that?
But it happens so often. And if it was one location, I would put it off as a hobo, somebody living in the woods and just trying to spook me to get me out of there. But for those of you that know the Panhandle area of Florida, I'll tell you some of the locations this has happened. And a lot of it's happened the same year. It's happened to me in Pine Log State Forest 2 or 3 times. It's happened in Vernon, Florida, right there on the river, on the creek. It's happened in Caryville. It's happened in Cottondale, which is part of Mariana. And I think it's happened in Chipley one time. And Chipley, it was acorns, but they were put in a line. There was probably 10 of them, but they were just put in a line. And it was like they put acorns in a line touching, back to back, and then they removed every other acorn. They were spaced perfectly apart. It was just a straight line, and that was on the roof.
So weird.
And I don't know, it could be people. One of the area in Chipley, people do come through there. The day that the acorns ended up on the roof, you can see where I got out of the truck, walked to the passenger side, got my gear, and walked into the woods. When I come back, the only tracks around the truck were mine, and that was it. There was no other track. And how'd they get up there? Surely I didn't drive down the road with them up there. They would have rolled around and blown off, because I was doing 40, 45 miles an hour going down there.
Sheesh.
And they were lined up perfectly. And I don't know. Is it paranormal? I have no idea.
I don't know.
The
I
meaning
think those
of it.
natural things, sticks, acorns, pine cones, to me, it seems like something they would do.
It does. And, Chris had found a pine cone where we put our stands up. We use climbing tree stands a lot when we're hunting. You can just throw them on a tree and hunt. If you don't see nothing, you just disconnect it, move it, throw it on your back, carry it over to a different tree. I mean, they're portable. You can take them anywhere. And he found a pine cone sitting in his stand, and the pine cone was open where it dropped its seeds, and there were acorns placed all inside the pine cone. It looked like a little Christmas tree. And
So crazy.
that spot, we were way out in the woods, and there's no trail getting back there. We have an app that we use called Hunt Stand, and the only way you can get back to find where you put your climbing stand is through the GPS. You have to mark, because it's planted pines, everything looks the same until you get down, at the edge of the swamp. There's some markers, game trails and stuff, but up in the pines, everything looks the same. You could be 50 foot from your tree stand, and it could be in your line of sight, and you won't have any idea where it's at. You can't hardly find it. So I don't know. I have no
Just strange
idea.
stuff, man. Fresh says to me a couple of, he wanted to know what time, he asked this a while ago. He wanted to know what time you recorded that, what time of day you recorded the apparition, the tall one. But real quick, I want to say this because I think it's a great idea. He said to me about the structures and stuff that he wants to start having people send all their pictures of structures or weird things with the glyphs and whatever in, so that we can collate it all according to geographical region and all these things, and try to put it all together and see if we can find something out by doing all that. I think it's a great idea because it's some form of communication.
Oh yeah.
But
that's Jeff.
I'm real quick. I'm trying to find. I apologize. I look rude right now, but I'm trying to find a randomizer to pick the comments for tonight. But all these things are.
I'm gonna find the picture of that apparition right quick, and I'll be able to tell him exactly the time that it was taken.
Okay.
So I'm not avoiding anyone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. This is what we do.
Yeah. Trying to do this here. Why am I not signed in right now?
But it is all good. I got so many pictures off the trail cameras.
I want to get you guys. I want to get a winner here. Get 3 winners. 3 winners.
Yeah, this was. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. Let me see if this will show up. This was another picture from the same camera. I'm going to. I hope this shows up. And what you're going to see if you can see it, there's 3 deer, and they're looking away from the camera, and there's a big ball of light that they're looking at. Let me see if. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see it. Let me see if I can get it close enough. There it is. You see the 3 deer? See how they're staring at that ball of light? That looks like a Weldon light.
Yep.
That's the same camera. I'm sorry I'm shaking, guys. I have a lot of nerve damage and I shake. I shake really bad.
No, you're good, man.
That's the same camera I caught the apparition on. And these beams of light should be right here. I have not cleaned off the pictures of the deer and everything we've taken off the game cameras. I haven't cleaned none of those off my phone. And there's literally hundreds of them. Let's see. Here we go. There it is. All right. The apparition picture was taken at 7:48 p.m. And that was on January 22nd of this year. And for those that didn't see it, I'll hold it up, see if maybe let me get it up close. I'm trying to keep that glare out. It's not showing up very good, but you can see the smoky apparition in the center.
Yep, I see that.
Yeah, that was it. And yeah, that was, what time did I just say that was? I was at 7:48 p.m. on the 22nd of January. There's just been so many crazy things on that one camera.
Not a coincidence then.
Yeah, Brother Jeff just called me.
He did.
He sure did. I sent him a message that I would call him right back. I was on the show with you. Good deal. So he's out of surgery, I assume.
Oh, that's good.
He may hop on. I see where That's Fresh asked, do you recommend the use of trail cams? Many don't appear to have much success. When it comes to the Sasquatch, catching them, I don't think you're going to have any luck with the trail cameras if you mount them in a standard fashion like we do for the game. All the paranormal stuff I've been getting on a trail camera. But I'll tell you what I did do, and I caught some weird stuff a few years back. I haven't done it since. And what I had done, if you have a trail camera that can record video clips, set your camera up to do 20-second or 30-second clips. And what I did, if this, just as an example, this being your trail camera, the camera that I used, it has 2 points here to run your little bungee cords around and 2 at the bottom corner. I tied a string from the corners. I cross-tied strings on the back of the camera. And then I tied another string up kind of high, not at the center where the strings cross, but a little bit high, to where if I hold the string, my camera was at this angle. It wasn't straight down, but it was kind of aiming out. And then I threw the string over a tree that was bowed. If it's the Sasquatch, I don't know what's doing it, but you'll find the trees that get bowed over. I threw the string over that and I pulled the camera up to where it was about 7.5 feet off the ground. And then I secured it and I had it set on video clips. And the reason I'd done that was I was hoping a Sasquatch would come in, they would see the camera, and they can see the blue light, the infrared light coming from it. They can see that. According to the scientists that claim that they've been studying these beings. Well, what I was hoping on, the Sasquatch would come up. He's avoiding that light. He'll get behind it, but all he has to do is touch it. With it only having one string holding it, it would cause the camera to spin or to start rocking, and he wouldn't have time to get away, and I would at least get a half second. As the camera spun, it would catch him for a brief second. I hung the camera, and think it was at 11 at night, and then 3 in the morning, something came in, hit the camera, and it started moving. But the way I had the camera picked up, when it started recording, something lifted it up and turned it straight. It was filming the woods, and then turned it up toward the sky, and it wasn't bouncing around. It was very like it was on a tripod. And then it turned it straight down toward the ground and let go of it, and the camera's doing this. It's still recording. And I had one clip of that, and the second time it turned it up and it picked it up pretty high in the air, and it was like scanning with the camera. I didn't catch what did it, but you could hear something walk off before the video clip ends. And I always wanted to go and set one up like that again, but I'm scared of what I'll catch. I don't like these creatures. They frighten me horribly. I don't want to be around them. And I know they're out there. We've all heard them. We've seen the structures they leave, the footprints, just all the stuff they do. And that stuff makes me nervous. But it doesn't affect me as bad as catching one on film. I won't go back in the woods in an area. If I catch one on video, I don't think I'd go back in there. And I've caught stuff on video before. I've caught one sleeping one time. And that video, I uploaded the video, and I got a really clear, I don't remember the name of the video. It's been up for years. The guy who found it was 2 or 3 years after I'd uploaded it. He's the one that found it. I never knew it was there. And he reached out to Jeff, and Jeff forwarded me a screenshot of what he found and the timestamp. And I went back and looked at it. I went to that spot, and I went to where them trees are at. There was 2 trees, 2 big trees that were kind of growing like a V. And he was on the ground right here and asleep, and he like had an arm out, and his hair was like kind of matted, like he had a chunk. It looked like it was cut out, but it was just the way the hair was. The original, in the original video and the screenshots, you could see every individual strand of hair. He was so close to me. But in that spot, right before I caught him on film, I stopped, and I said, I had that bad feeling that I was being watched. Something was close by. I could feel it, and it felt like I was being watched. And I scanned the area with the camera, and then on film, I said, I'm going to get out of here, and I got back out on the trail. I didn't know I caught anything. It was years later when somebody else had found it and forwarded it to me. Brother Jeff has that screenshot. He sent it to me on Facebook Messenger. I deleted my Facebook last year because somebody hacked it and was sending very nasty stuff to
people,
my Facebook family, and I deleted it. They won't allow you to the people that are proud of who they vote for. They will not allow you to mention who you're voting for.
No,
on there. They'll shut you down. But yet they allow people to hack into your YouTube page and then send pornography to everybody you're bonded with. And
that's nice.
It's unacceptable to me. And so I deleted it. So I don't have access to that picture, and I don't remember the video. If I can find out which video it is, I will share that with Kyle so he could maybe do a post or something and let you guys know. I just seen something in the chat.
I got a randomizer from StreamYard. So here we go. We're going to start the draw now. We're going to do this 3 times. Okay. So first person is going to win the A-Bear Road book, the first winner. Second winner is going to win Christopher Noel's book. And the third winner is going to win the 1-of-1 piece of merch. Okay. So I'm going to do this all right now live.
Awesome.
We're going to start collecting comments.
Oh, thank you, Mike.
Why is there?
Y'all are hearing that chirping. Kim hatched out some little baby chickens, and we got them in a little heated tub over here. I thought I just heard one beside me.
Let's do this real quick, okay? Everybody in the chat, if you want to be entered in this, I need you to do this right now for me. I need you to put in the chat your comment. Put hashtag EC. Everybody, if you want to be entered, hashtag EC. And then I'm going to pick the winners. So I'll let you guys do that. And then we'll get this thing going because it's not getting everybody here for some reason. So I need you to do that so I can have it pick the right text.
You know what I just realized on here?
Do capitals. Sorry, guys. Do capitals. Capitals. So I can put it in the right way. Capital. Hashtag capital EC.
Hope Horizon and Jimmy S.
What's up, Jimmy?
Capitals. You know what? I can't comment on the comment board in here. Isn't that weird?
You can't.
Nope, there's not a spot for it. I can see them. I can scroll up on them. I didn't know I could do that. But yeah, there's. I do not have a where you get the little box where you type your comment. I don't even. It's not even on here.
Really?
It's wild. Yeah, I did not know that. Now it makes sense. Had someone on a show last year, and they were telling me they tried to put a comment up and they couldn't. But she didn't explain that there was no way to put a comment up. She just said that she couldn't.
Come on, guys. It says there's 43 people watching. It's showing me only 16 people who've put that in the thing. If you want to be part of the drawing, please just put hashtag capital EC in the comment section so that I can get everybody who's here watching entered in the drawing.
Yeah, that's fresh. Said it. I believe that a dark door opens to the other dimensions. Yeah, I believe that too.
Agreed.
Absolutely believe that.
Agreed.
You know, there's so much going on today that you can actually find in the original text of the Bible. A lot of weird stuff going on.
What's up, Greg? How are you, buddy? Yeah, there's a lot of correlation between the two right now. It's just scary stuff.
Yeah, we're in that time.
Yeah. I said that. I was talking about that not too long ago about how, I remember like being a kid and the prophecies, like the Bible prophecies my grandmother or my mother would talk about, and
they were scary.
Terrifying 7 years of tribulation and all that. And man, so much of it, so much of that stuff is stuff that you're seeing and happening now. Yeah. It's scary, man. It's scary.
Rattled out. And, then you go into Revelations and that kind of puts the icing on the cake there. And
sure does. All right. I think I've given everybody enough time. I'm going to do this now. Okay. We're going to do hashtag EC and let's see what happens. Okay, here we go. First winner is going to be the A-Bear Road book.
I may have to angle the bottom away from you. That's what I had to do.
Greg Yonke. Greg, you win the A-Bear Road book, brother. Awesome. So what I need you to do is I'm going to give you, I'm going to put my email down here. I need you to send me your information and don't say anything about the fact that I don't read my emails and that there's 43,000 unread emails in my inbox right now, because Greg will get upset and he won't think he's going to get his book.
But But he could put giveaway or something in the subject line to where you
Yeah,
know.
do that. Do put in the subject line, put right giveaway winner. So email me at right there, Kyle4180 Connolly at gmail.com, and send me your shipping information, and we'll get that out to you as soon as possible, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations indeed.
Let's do another draw for Christopher Noel's book. Hey, look who it is. Look who it is.
Yeah, she made it.
Sandy, you won Christopher Noel's book. So the same thing goes for you. Send me your shipping info, and I'll get that out to you as soon as possible. And then this is for the 1 of 1 piece of merch. There will be no others before it, no others after it. It's the only one that's ever going to be made, unless I decide to make myself one. But that's only fair. I mean, come on. All right, here we go. Last one for the piece of merch. And the winner is Bigfoot Littlefoot.
Littlefoot.
Bigfoot Littlefoot. All right. So same thing. Okay, you can message it to me. Email me your info. You got to tell me what size you are, men's, women's, whatever. And it'll be a t-shirt. So you got to just tell me if you want it men's, women's, small, medium, large, whatever it is, and you won the 1 of 1 piece of merch.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, awesome. Guys. That was fun. That was really fun. I think I might do this more often.
Yeah, that was really cool. You know, we were Kim and I discussed doing a giveaway, but not like that. We've got so many people that have been with us on Standing Goats Rescue since the beginning. We got so many, and we got so many that have jumped on, and we got some new people that have jumped on that. They're part of it. You know, they're part of that root system to what we do. Really important people to me and Kim and our family here. And we were trying to figure out a way that we could send them all something, you know, just like a token of appreciation for, you know, what they've done, the support. And, you know, when we do prayer requests for people, we have some people, I have no idea who they are, but they need help, and they'll reach out to me, and we'll throw it out there.
Sure.
And they just, without skipping a beat, they're there throwing prayers out and taking part of our prayer warrior group. And just that it's such a big thing to do. And sure, it's just a prayer, you know, 15 seconds of your time, but it's life-changing for the people you're praying for. It's big stuff. And Kim and I have been trying to discuss how we could do it to where we could afford to do it, but, you know, to honor those people. And I just haven't figured out how to do it yet. And like what you just did, that was cool. I never seen nothing like that.
Well, listen, if there's stuff, like if you want to do something, man, like, you know, we can get, I got stuff that I can donate probably to it. I got 1 or 2 things I wouldn't mind donating to it if you want to do a giveaway. You know, I could get a shirt, one of my shirts to give away, or hat or something, or see if I can get Chris to give us another book to give away, stuff like that. I mean, I know it may not be, you know, nothing big, but you know, if we can get people to donate some stuff.
Yeah, the people that are here, there's so many here, like Squatch and Mountain Mom has been with us, you know, a big part of our support. Oh, thank you so much. I just seen what you wrote in there. Thank you. God bless you. But there's so many of us, you know, it's one big family, you know, your family here, what we have with Standing Goats Rescue, there's so many other of us here. And if you look at the overall numbers of how many of us are bound together, you know, through this friendship and through Christ as brother and sister, it's not friend, good friend, best friend, middle friend.
No.
It's brother and sister. And that's what we are. We're one big family. And just so many of them, when there's a call to help, they're there.
Right.
And it blows my mind. And sometimes it gets to me emotionally when you see what these people have done, going out of the way. And a prayer is a big deal. And most of the people, that are needing help, sure, a few bucks would help them, but they want the prayers more than anything. And they're in a situation where they need money. And we've done call outs to get people help financially before. And we did one, a lady, she lost her husband. I don't remember the story. I think it was a fire. Young couple, and the husband died. And she was stuck with a newborn, and it was rough. And I just spoke with her briefly through messaging. She was pretty torn up to talk on the phone, and I wasn't going to put her through it. And she kept sending me messages. She wanted my address to pay it back. And I said, there's nothing to pay back. You're not getting my address. And not that I didn't trust her. I didn't want her sending nothing back.
Right.
It's not what it's about. When you start honoring that American dollar over a life, you've made a critical mistake right there.
Right.
And that's our downfall. And so there's a lot of people that have put the dollar above the heartbeat of your fellow man, brother and sister. And it gets me ill thinking about it. But it's just being able to help people and showing them how much that they mean to you personally, and just the little things like what you just did. Not many people are doing that. They're setting their channels up to, how much can we profit? How much can we make from this?
Yeah.
And you got to make something from it for what you're investing, what you're doing. You can't go out in these areas and the gas money you're spending to get there. And there's so much more involved. If you're going to be out there all day,
you're paying for StreamYard service. You're paying for, all that.
$25 a month for basic StreamYard.
Basic. Yeah.
Yeah. And that I'm paying that every month. And I forget about it. I could cancel it and then start it back up each month, but it's going to be $25 each time I do that. So,
right.
But it's little things. And we're not monetized on my channel. And if the Lord tells me to monetize it, I will. But I just, we struggle. It's very difficult on us. But every month, God provides a way for us to get through every single month. And if the human side of me, if I could keep that in check, I wouldn't worry so bad, but I do. But it's those of us like you that are going out in the field all the time. You can't go out there and film the way that you're filming and do what you're doing with your phone. What happens if you run the battery dead filming and you fall or you step in a hole and break your leg? How are you getting out? Now you got a dead phone because you've been filming with it. And a lot of stuff people don't take into account.
I do film with my phone every weekend. That's what I film because that's the only way I can go live, right? So, but
you need a backup battery bank.
I got a backup battery bank. Yep, I got 2 of those. I got
those costs
all
and
that.
There's so much expense that you have to put into it, and even what I do, and I'm not doing what you do. I film, but I got to be at the property. There's stuff I have to do, and I'm going to film when I go there. And I do go to places just to film, but I go on my own dollar. And, we've had when I was in a bad way and I had no way to film, the phone was done. And we was blessed with a GoPro. And then Brother Jeff blessed me with a GoPro. We had geared. I mean, if it weren't for our YouTube family, I would have never had ended up where I'm at now. And it was through them that little bit of a boost when we really needed it done everything. I mean, it done everything. And I'm where I'm supposed to be. If I weren't, God wouldn't be lining things up for me. He'd be taking things away. And he's not. He's keeping me on track. And I'm just enjoying the ride. And, the greatest friends I've ever made in my life were made on YouTube, believe it or not.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
And you're definitely one of them, without a doubt. And
right back at you.
Man, I couldn't be blessed anymore.
I tell people all the time, man. I said, That's why I wanted you
Jamie,
to come
thank
on
you.
tonight.
Thank you so much.
That's why I wanted you to come on tonight, and I haven't said it yet, but this, what the point of you having you on tonight was not to celebrate this. It was for me to let you know that there a lot of people have supported this channel through this journey.
Oh yeah.
But from the very moment that I spoke to you the first time, which was probably I don't know, 2 days after I started the channel.
Yeah.
From the very moment we first spoke, the first conversation we had on the phone was 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember.
6 hours we talked on the phone. Okay. It immediately I was like, man, I felt like I'd known you my whole life, and then you've been nothing but a huge support system, and so encouraging, and so kind, and so selfless with your time, and I just wanted you to know that I am so grateful for that. That it means a lot to me.
Thank you.
And you you said a couple minutes ago, man, I couldn't feel more blessed to have met somebody than yourself. It's really just, man, you meet people and that they're going to enrich your life, and you've done that.
Well, thank you. And you've certainly done it for us, and I can't say it enough. And, as a friend, as a brother, I absolutely love you.
I
And,
love you too,
you're
man.
genuine salt of the earth. And that's you, and just so many people, the people that have come across you, stumbled across your channel, just surfing YouTube, that little thing, clicking and subscribing, that little thing right there. There's so much support behind it. I mean, look at the people that you bond with because of it. I mean, look at the people in the chat. I mean, these are, I've said it so many times. These are the greatest people that's ever come across YouTube.
They're amazing.
Right there.
They're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can't be more blessed to have people like that connected to you and being a part of your journey.
Yep.
And we may not meet them in this lifetime, but this is a practice run. We will absolutely meet them in the next one.
Sure.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just the beginning, but man, Kyle, thank you so much. And I can't get enough of you. Who you are, and if a little bit of you rubs off on me every time that we talk, my life is enhanced. Just
stop it.
And it's the truth. It is what it is, and everybody should bring something to the table when it comes to a relationship between friends, brothers, sisters, whatever it may be. Everyone's supposed to contribute something, and these days it's not the case.
No.
I mean, the world is full of hatred, and the more good people we have on this earth, the more light we're bringing into a dark world, and it's people like you that make that happen. And,
well, I really appreciate that, man.
And
it means so much coming from you. When I tell people, like, there's just that there's certain that there's a lot of good people. There's a lot of wonderful people.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's a small group. If you're lucky enough to meet a handful of great human beings in your life, man, you have no idea how blessed you are. And I hold you in the highest regard. I tell everybody I meet, like, you just, that knows who you are, if people ask, like, hey, should I contact Donnie? I'm thinking about starting a show, or I got a question, or blah, blah. And I always tell them, like, yeah, contact him, because I promise you, number one, Donnie Miller will never turn you away. And when you contact him, you just, even a conversation, you're going to walk away from that feeling so good because of the person he is.
Thank you.
And I mean it. I mean every minute. I mean every word of it. My mother watches you every day, almost now, every day.
Oh, man, I'm so grateful for that. And You know, there's just so many, and it's crazy. Something I think about so often, and you know, when I see these people, and it's 90% of the people in your chat right now, you know,
Yeah.
these are people that have backed me up.
Right.
You know, in the early days when I didn't know what I was doing, filming, I was learning, and just I made a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, and I wasn't being reprimanded. I was being educated, and there were so many that come in there. Hey, you know, you're the little things, because I was using my phone like you, and I'm filming like this. You know, I'd see something, and I had, and I never forget. And that's when I shared my number in the beginning. And a guy calls me. He says, "Man, slow down with the phone." I said, "Excuse me," you know, because I just answered it, "Hello," and he said, "Man, slow down with the phone." And I was thinking a scammer, somebody calling me trying to sell me something. Come to find out, he is a photographer. He has no YouTube channel, but he's been a part. He subscribed when I had like 30 people on my channel, and he's been following me. And he said, "You're making me sick." And I asked him, I said, "Well, how? What am I doing?" Because I didn't know. You know, I'm not a photographer. And he explained to me the way you're moving. He said, "Remember water. You know how you move in water?" I said, "Yeah, it's hard." He said, "You can't do jerky movement in water because of that pressure against you, that force." He said, "Move your phone like you're underwater." He said, "Let it roll when you're filming. Let it roll. Remember, move like you're moving your eyes." And it took some practice, but filming at home in the yard, and it wasn't anything I didn't share any of that, but just trying to get it down, figure it out. And I remember making that first video. It was like 18 or 19 minutes long, and I watched it and I thought, holy mackerel. I watched this whole thing and I wasn't rubbing my eyes because I was getting motion sickness, and it blew me away. But it was all from that call.
Yep.
You know, and if it weren't for him being kind enough to share that with me, to tell me, "Look, you know, you're doing it wrong, do it this way." But I mean, he was great. And it's so crazy. He said, "You know, I don't comment, I don't participate in chat, I don't do any of it." And I'll hear from him maybe once every 2 years. He'll send me a little short email. It's got like 5 messages in it. And one of the greatest people he ever talked to, but he don't want recognition. He said, "I'm just a photographer trying to help another photographer get going and get better." I said, "Man, I'm not a photographer, but I appreciate it. All the help." And
those things are so amazing, though. Those things,
Yeah.
those little things, right? When I said it to somebody, it's easy to overlook, right? Because I always say things like, you know, please don't ever feel like you have to be here. I tell this to my moderators, like, don't ever feel like you have to be here. You don't have to be here.
That's
You're
right.
doing me a favor, right? Thank God that this chat doesn't get a lot of trolls or anything. So there's not a whole lot to do in that aspect of things. But you're doing me a favor by being here. If you can't be here, please don't ever apologize. Your life comes first. This is YouTube. It's silly. It's just a silly thing that we do. And somebody said to me, though, and this is when I didn't realize, right? YouTube and social media can be silly, weird places, but you don't realize how much they mean to certain people. And I had somebody message me and say, "I want you to know how much I enjoy your channel. I'm disabled and I can't go out of my house without help. And I certainly can't go out in the woods. So when you go live every weekend, it gives me the opportunity to get back in those woods that I love so much." And
Yeah.
I never, ever in a million years looked at it like that.
Can I comment on that?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I've received the same.
Man.
Three of our YouTube family, disabled, bedridden. 2 are paraplegics, and they went from spending their life in the woods hiking, enjoying nature, to now bedridden. One of them is in that upper end of life. You know, they're fixing to get into the big time, and they reached out to me, and it was about that. And I never thought about. I mean, I always thought about people that were stuck, that couldn't go out, that wanted to be there, but I never looked at it the way they were looking at it. And these 3 people, I've had a lot contact me with the same similar thing, but these 3 in particular, what they asked of me I never thought about it. And they said, would you please, when you get time, you got, an audience that's looking for, the stuff you're pointing out. Would you just, when you're out there, just film, it's not that we don't want to hear you, but we want to hear the birds and the stuff that we don't get to hear no more. And when you think about it, that they don't want to hear me talking and pointing things out. And the one lady, it hurt her feelings to email me that. And I said, no, say it the way it is. Beating around the bush don't get you nowhere. Just say it the way it is. There's a way to do that without being rude.
Yeah.
And that's all they were wanting, was to see nature and to hear it. And the one lady, she's bedridden. And from what she's explaining, she's got 3 computer screens. And I guess they're big screens, because they sit on her bed in front of her. And she puts in her earphones and she watches it. And she said, it takes me back to when I was out there. And now she's in her 70s, but she's been bedridden for a long, long time, 20 or 30 years. I don't remember the actual time, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And I did a couple of videos, and I have a hard time when I get scared and I'm in the woods. I have to start talking. And in my mind, I'm speaking directly to you, and you're right there with me. And it takes that fear, it just lowers it for me. And it's hard for me to get out there. If I don't get scared, I'm fine. I can film and not say a word, but I hear a twig snap, I'll start listening. And if I hear a follow-up snap, the fear starts setting in. And I mean, it could be an animal. It could be, anything. I'm not saying it's Sasquatch, but I've had several encounters with them. Most of the encounters, I just seen them. I didn't run into them. There wasn't interaction. I just seen them. And they looked at me, continued in their way, and I got out. I got to the truck as quick as I could. But when I hear something, that's immediately what I think. It's a Sasquatch, and the fear starts rising. So I start talking, and it's I don't know how to change that. But yeah, if you ever get time, just try it. It's harder than what you think, just to film nature and put it out and just see what the response is. I'm curious. I'd like to know.
When I'm out there, one thing that I do often is I'll stop doing everything and go dead silent for minutes at a time, and just listen. That's all. I just listen.
That's
and
these
let it
people
all
do.
kind of, come in. People can listen with me and hear if there's something else going on. And then if something weird happens, then I'll speak up. Otherwise, I have people here who tell me, they say they like it better when I just sit still and don't say anything and just take it in, right? And then others say, hey, we like it when you get up and move around a little bit and blah, blah, blah. So I do a little bit of everything. And one thing I always say, I never, ever, ever say I. When I talk about the channel, when I talk about anything that happens, it's always we, because it's not me, just me. I didn't do this. This isn't me. When I have a show and I have someone on, I'm interviewing, I'm literally just there facilitating. I have some questions that I ask, but it's not me. It's about the person that's on with me, right? On that show. It's about them. It's about
in the end, it's a collective. And
yeah. When I go out live, do you know, like, the reason I do the live that I love so much, one of them is because of what you said. It's because it's still scary out there. When you're alone in the woods, deep, dark woods by yourself, it gets scary. I don't care who you are. So to have people there, it's a safety blanket. But the other part of it is being able to interact with them all is so fun. It makes doing this so much more enjoyable. And I love the woods. I can go out there by myself with nobody and be happy. But to have 30 people, 40 people, 10 people, 2 people, I don't care how many it is.
Yeah, it feels like they're with you.
Like they're with you right there.
Yeah, and that's one of the areas that I love filming at. Before Hurricane Michael, I did my live streams there, but we can't now. Hurricane Michael came through and it leveled all the cell towers. They put they put towers back, but now there's no signal there. And we used to have 5 bars here in our living room. And I can show you right now. I'm sitting by the window. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I've got 1 bar. You see it up there? The little dot?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Battery's about dead. I got 1 bar. Here's the front window to the highway. There's no signal. So I can't do the live shows anymore. I have to be on Wi-Fi to use my phone in the house. But the whole thing when I was doing the live shows, it felt like everybody was with me right there. And something would happen, and I wouldn't go straight to it, but I would kind of circle around like one side to see if maybe I could catch something that everybody could see it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the sound started getting louder or started coming toward me, then I'd go the other way. But not doing a live stream, I won't do it. If I hear the sound, it's that way. I go the opposite direction. I wanted to ask you something real quick.
Sure.
Do you have a game not a game camera, an action camera like a GoPro or any type of
I don't have an action camera. The only camera I have is the Osmo Pocket. That's what I got. That's it. Other than that, I have just my phone.
One of the weird things that's happened to me with the GoPro, and I don't know if anybody that's here with us tonight has had this happen, where I went in the woods, not at our property. It's one of the areas that I like to hike in. I've got it's a mount for a trail camera, and it's got like a screw bit at one end. You screw it into the ground until the flat base touches the earth. And then you loosen the little knobs and you can extend it up, and it goes up to like 50 inches high. And it's got a 1/4-20 thread at the top. And I got one of the GoPro attachments to screw onto it, and I mounted my GoPro. Before I got the one with the screw bottom, I used the tripod, just one of the extendable camera sticks. And I screwed a tripod to the base of it, a pretty wide tripod base. Well, I've got it up 3.5 foot off the ground, turn the camera on, and I get in front of it, and I'm walking away, and I go 1/2 a mile, 3/4 of a mile out in the swamp. I do a big circle. I come back, and the battery's dead. It'll film for 45 or 50 minutes, and then the battery will die. Twice I came back, and the camera was laid over. No wind. Nobody there. Where I'm at, I'm a ways from where I park. I don't set it right at the car because I don't want somebody stealing the camera. Right. So I'm out a ways away from it. Come out, the camera's laid down. And twice when I got the footage out, I didn't hear nothing walk up. No wind blowing. You could see me walk off. One time it's like 20 minutes later. All of a sudden, the sound is gone. Like somebody muted the microphone. It just goes silent, everything. And it's not that the environment went silent. It's that the microphone turned off, I think. I mean, it was no sound. It was dead.
Yeah, that's a mic thing then, yeah.
And the camera falls forward. Second time, the same thing. The first time, I think it was the first time, when the sound went, it was like 5 seconds later, and then it fell over. The second time, the sound went and the camera falls. And now the battery it ran like 40 minutes the second time. It was almost at the end of the battery. But when it hit the ground both times, when the camera hit the ground, it turned off right then. And you could turn your GoPro on, and it is a GoPro, it wasn't a generic one. You could hit record on that GoPro, and you can throw it as far as you can out in the forest, in the dirt, and it won't stop recording. You can go pick it up, and it's still running.
Yeah, they're meant to be used in tough situations.
Yeah, and I don't know. It was almost like somebody came up and kind of like they stopped the recording, but it didn't stop until it hit the ground. Like it fell, then it stopped. And it's so strange because the microphone on that GoPro, if you're walking through them leaves, it'll pick you up at 30 or 40 feet back. and there was nothing. There was nobody walking, no sound, no leaves blowing. And it's done that a few times, but 2 times there was no sound, like the sound turned off, and it done it. And I don't know if you ever experienced something like that.
No, the Osmo that I got was gifted to me by a subscriber.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Oh, praise God.
This is what I'm talking about. Amazing. Just incredible stuff. So one day I was on and I was doing a live in the woods and there was nothing going on. So I said, let's do a Q&A. You guys asked me questions, right? One of the questions I got was, if you could have any piece of camera equipment, what would it be? And I think most people probably would go to some like $3,000 camera or something like that. I went right to what I saw, which was that Pocket Osmo, because it's this little, I mean,
yeah, it's an awesome camera.
I'll show you right now. I got it right here.
Yeah, I will eventually get one of them. I just they fit, the footage from them is so much better than the GoPro, and you can zoom on them.
Oh, it's crazy.
You can't zoom with the GoPro.
They really have a lot of features.
Oh, I didn't see Hiker was leaving. Well, doggone it.
So
I'll see him.
This is it. This little bad boy right here. It's got a screen.
Yeah, buddy.
It's on a gimbal. I mean, this thing is it's incredible. And I film with it when I go out. I have it on my backpack strap, so it's on the front of me like this.
Oh wow.
And so it's up high enough where I can film in front of me, or I can have it spin and film behind me, which I do randomly.
How do you mount that?
So it has this thing. I'll show you.
Yeah, I didn't mean to
No, you're good.
get us off track.
Whoops. Sorry about that. So see, it has this.
Oh,
this
wow.
Right
Yeah,
here.
like a GoPro mount.
Yeah, and it slides right in, just like that.
Huh.
And it sits in there. And so you can mount it. You can mount it either on the front of you, or you can have it up higher, so it's fully facing behind you, up on your shoulder somewhere. But man, this thing is amazing. The only problem I've had with it is just that I haven't had a video editor that will take the files because they're so big. But I think I have one now. I just haven't had any time to even go in and edit anything because I've been so damn busy. My sleep.
Yeah, have you had problems? Have you tried taking the memory card out and putting it in, like plugging it into an adapter and transferring the files to your phone?
No, I don't. So any of the files I transfer right to this laptop, not to my phone, because my phone is already so. My phone's always full. It's always so full.
Okay, I just a tip that I learned. I've got the DJI Action 3 now, and I love it. I got it on my credit card, so I'm making payments on it, but well worth it. I love the camera. But like with the GoPro, I got an adapter I plug into my phone. I put the memory card in it, transfer them straight to my phone, and I edit them. Once I get the video finished and uploaded, I delete them off my phone. The DJI, you can, like putting it in your phone, you can see the files, but there's no video. You can hear them, you can play it, but there's no video to it. It's just audio. And I couldn't figure it out. And researching it, for some reason, it's between the connection of DJI, their system, how they process, how the camera processes and saves the footage, and the iPhone. The iPhone, you have to turn off your data connection. Like turn off the data in your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Not airplane mode, but where you actually turn off the incoming signal.
Yep.
Then you could transfer the files through an adapter. But I don't do them that way because it's just turning my phone off, turning that off, and I may miss an important call. And so what I do it wirelessly. It does it perfect. That you just connect it to the whatever that app. What's that app called? The Mimo, DJI Mimo app. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it transfers wirelessly to my phone, and I get them all.
It's a great app.
It is. I like it a lot. They didn't give it a real high rating, like 3.5 or.
I think it's a great app.
3.8. Yeah, I love it. It's worked flawless. No issues at all.
I can control that camera from my phone wirelessly. I can zoom, I can everything with my phone wirelessly. That camera,
That's
because of
awesome.
that
I
app,
love
it's
that.
pretty cool. The only other thing I want as far as equipment goes is a drone. That's it. I don't care about anything else. I want a drone. I want to try to get the mini, the Mini 2.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's the one I
Yeah,
want.
it's incredible just to be able to do some really cool like overhead shots of the forest, and to be able to go into areas that you can't go into,
Yep.
right? That you can't get to, but you can film from overhead.
Yeah, we went to that Torreya State Park,
Mm,
and Connor films in that place a lot. He lives real close to it.
yeah, he does.
And I went over there and brought the drone, and they stopped me, and they do not allow you to fly a drone in there at all.
Some places don't.
Why? It's just forest. There's no outside showers. There's nothing where you're going to catch somebody nude.
Doesn't matter. You're not. YouTubers are no longer allowed to film inside national parks. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I just read this. I don't know why.
What are they afraid of getting out?
I believe what they're saying is that they're monetizing. They're making money off of a national or state forest, and that's illegal. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's weird. I thought that you had the right to film in public.
You do, but only YouTubers. This is what I read.
That's
This is what I
crazy,
read.
'cause,
I'll find that article. I'll send it to you because
if our tax dollars pay to fund a place is considered public.
Right. Fresh is saying because it's commercial content, but what if you're not monetized? Who the hell are they to know?
Yeah, I'm not monetized.
That's what I'm saying. So who are they to say?
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know.
know.
We live in a weird world. I guess it offends somebody.
Everything offends everybody.
Yeah.
Everything offends everybody. That's the problem. You used to be able to disagree on things and just agree to disagree and go your separate ways and
have
be
a
adults
discussion,
about it.
get it out, and go. Yeah.
Now you can't. Now it's everybody wants to, yell at you and tell you can't do this, you can't do that.
And then if you
make a big scene,
if somebody does decide to have a conversation with you to disagree, they end up shooting you. And
yeah,
so
right.
it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, listen, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but
oh no, you're fine, brother.
I'm scrubbed, man. I'm so tired. And we've been on here for 3 hours.
Really?
3 hours.
Wow.
Somehow, some way. When I talk with you,
don't show me
2 hours and 53 minutes. Somehow, some way, every time that we talk, no matter if it's on here or if it's on the phone, it's that we always are talking for a long time. I don't have these conversations with other people this long, ever.
That's
ever.
Good company.
That's good company. That's right.
Yes,
amen. That's great company.
Greatest people that's ever strolled the internet right here in your chat.
Yes, sir.
And what a blessing that is.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely. But listen, I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And like you said, it's family, brother. It's family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know how I feel about you, and I'm in it with you till the end, brother.
Yeah, right here too, brother. You need anything, you let me know.
And the same goes for you always. Anything that comes up, if you need me for anything, you got my number, you got all my contact info. Give me a shout.
I'm going to call you tomorrow so we can talk about that. Sharing the screen stuff,
pictures and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll get you set up. It's easy.
Yeah. Thank you. Sure appreciate that. And I thank everybody for being here tonight. And these are man, it's what a blessing. What a blessing it is. And there's Pappy.
The best people. Hey, Pappy, what's going on? I didn't get to say hey to you earlier. Hey, how you doing, Pappy?
That's one of the wisest people I've ever met in my life, is right there.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I've called him, been down and out, having a hard time just dealing with life last year, and I called him a couple of times. And I'll tell you what, I don't care what's going on with you. If it's bad, you need help, something happening that you can't sort out on your own, talk to Pappy. And what an amazing man.
I think anybody who's called Pappy has wisdom.
Yeah, he does.
Anybody who's called Pappy has some wisdom.
What an incredible man. And yeah, Frogman, he's in the chat. Yeah, he come over yesterday.
Frogman, are you indeed a frogman? Were you a Navy SEAL? Or are you just into frogs? Oh, you found the article for me.
He's just down there. Yeah, he's just down the road from me.
Send me the article if you can. If you can send it in Messenger, that'd be great, so I could send it over to Donnie. Hey, Mark, what's going on, brother? That's another great man right there. I don't know if you know Mark Green, but what a wonderful, wonderful guy he is.
Yeah, he's in Alabama, right?
He is in Alabama. Yep, he's in booger country.
Yeah,
we got them boogers out there.
Yeah, back when there wasn't so many people doing encounters, people sharing encounters with them, I had a lot of encounters from Alabama that were sent to me, and some people I talked to, and boy, when they either have no encounters at all or it's wide open and they get everything happening.
Yeah, he's got two spots. He's got his hunting club, Creepy Mountain, and the hunting club, and then he's got stuff going on his property too. They followed him home. That's what they did, because we know they do that.
They do that, yeah, without a doubt. That's what I think happened here.
Yeah, they do that. 100%.
Wow.
You don't want the hitchhikers.
No.
You don't want them. Well, listen, guys, it's been a wonderful, wonderful night. I do wish Bigfoot Lake was feeling better so he could have been here, but it was more important for him to get some rest. I didn't want him to feel like he had to be here. He said that he was going to show up just for a few minutes just to say hi and show support, because that's just the guy he is. And I'm super grateful for that. But please, send some prayers to him and to our good friend Jeff, that, these guys feel better soon, and Jeff's back on his feet, and Bigfoot's not knocked down too much longer with this illness.
That's right.
And I just, man, I don't even have the words. I love you guys so much. You're just all so amazing. I wouldn't be doing this still if it wasn't for all you guys. You make it worth it every single day, every day.
Agreed. 100%. I agree.
I will be back on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys did not watch the morning show, the Morning Walk with Maverick, Hellbent Holler will be on the show on Sunday. Joe and Jesse, if you don't know who they are, go watch them. They're awesome. They have an awesome channel. They do awesome stuff. They're super, super, super tech heavy. They got every gizmo and gadget you can think of, and they're pulling every scientific data in the world when they go out and do these investigations. And they're just fun to watch. They're just fun to watch. They're good folks. They were just out with Martin Groves and Deuster in the LBL, which is where they've been investigating a lot recently, and they've got some strange stuff going on there. So they'll be here on Sunday. That's going to be a really fun show. And then next week, Mark Copeland, Livewire from Kerry did an Odyssey on him. It was the last Odyssey he filmed. He had all that stuff going on in his property. He's got video of shadows of these things running across his lawn by his kids' play toys, 4 of them walking through his field, all kinds of stuff.
It got crazy at Mark's.
Crazy at his house. And it got really crazy. He even fired at him a couple times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mark's wild, but he's good people. He is really he's amazing. Love Mark to death.
He's a good egg. I'm excited to talk to him. I think you guys are going to be in for a couple really fun shows. And then I got some other stuff, some other people coming on in the next couple of weeks that you're going to really enjoy too. But I'm going to bed. I am so tired. This is way past my bedtime. I'll sleep for 2 hours. I'm going to be asleep for 2 hours. Then I'm going to wake up for 3 hours. Then I'm going to sleep for 45 minutes. And then I'm awake at 4 a.m. for the rest of the day. So you know that right now I am tired. But I appreciate all you. And I wouldn't be here if not for you. Donnie, thank you so much again, brother. I love you.
Oh, thank you, Kyle. I love you, man. Absolutely. And thank all of you for being here and the support from all of you. God bless you. We love you all.
Thank
We'll
you.
Definitely see you soon.
I'll call you tomorrow, brother.
Yes, sir. You have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow sometime.
All right. Good night, guys.
The other end.
Good night. Bye.